saying.
Well, if you're joining on in, what I said is that I have one pussy that I continue to enjoy frequently.
Yeah.
And it's the best in the world.
It's a great cat.
Her name
is Withers. First 10 seconds of YouTube.
Withers,
Come on.
Withers.
Time it. Let's time it for the 13 people that watch. You know.
I am happy to have this one because trust me, I've been in situations where there's been multiple, and that was incredibly complicated. So for the last 10 years, I have had the one, and I am happy about that. I'm quite thrilled. However, on Sunday, I want to not be bothered. It's Father's Day, and the one thing that we get to do on Father's Day is to be away from our children. The reason why we're fathers in the first place.
Yeah, it's for a holiday. You should just convert to Judaism. You get a whole bunch of them.
The reason why we are fathers in the first place is the same people that we are ignoring on that same damn day. Okay, that's what it is.
I still get messages from people like, "Hey Tony, is it a Jewish holiday?" And I'm like, "Yeah." That's I respond the exact same way to that question as I respond to like a text from a friend's girlfriend. Like, "Hey, is Steve there?" "Yep." "Could you put him on?" "Yeah." "He's taking a shit. I'll throw the phone in the bathroom."
Yeah, why not? What privacy do you need? No, he's there.
Yeah, I don't care.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he's right there. Go talk to him.
We have some Lysol.
Oh, he's not talking to you? I don't fucking care. That's your problem, not my problem. He's here. Fuck, come on by. Say hi.
Come on.
Immediately texting Steve. "Steve, your girl's on her way to my house. Swing through." You know what I mean? Like, same energy. Hey, is it a Jewish holiday? Of course it is. Every day is a Jewish holiday, man. Don't worry about it. We don't know what they are. My tribe has no idea what the Jewish holidays are. We just know that that's just what it is.
The differences between Mother's Day and Father's Day is, once again, lightning.
Yeah.
Because every single Mother's Day, they want to go out. They want to do stuff. They want, oh, yeah.
Celebrate.
I'm going to this place. Oh, my goodness. And I can't wait. And I'm going to do all these things.
Yeah, great.
And every single Father's
Day, you want them to go out. You're like, go, fuck off.
Get the F out or leave me the F alone. Leave me alone or go out. Both of those things also are not mutually exclusive. Just so that we're very clear. Both of those things are not mutually exclusive.
Take the kids to Build-A-Bear.
And still leave me alone.
People ask why men are like obsessed with their garages. It's fucking quiet.
Quiet. Yeah. That's it. That's it. What?
Used to have studies. There used to be studies, you know, like.
So
my grandfather had a study. It was a room that nobody was allowed in, except my grandmother, to tell him it was ready for dinner. And that was the only time you were allowed in the study. Anyone. My grandmother. Telling my grandfather. What was in the study? Nothing. Just quiet. Quiet was in the study.
An entire room of emptiness. That's all it was. An entire room of emptiness and freedom. A freedom away from you. That's what it was. That's what it was. Freedom away from. So here's the thing. For my 30th birthday, my wife, sweet as she can be, we went away somewhere local, but far enough from home that it was like special enough, right?
Yeah.
My idea was that she had all these different things planned out for 3 days. And at some point in time, I had to stop her and I had to say, you're planning this birthday weekend like it's your birthday.
Yeah.
If we were doing your birthday, we would be doing all of these things. I
Yeah,
just
we're
want
doing
to
it on
let
my
you know
birthday.
that on my birthday, what I desired, I didn't tell her this, and I didn't tell her this way. I was just like, you know, just that we're clear. Like, what I desire is to go away and to do nothing. You want to go away and do things. That's it.
My birthday was a month ago.
Explain to her.
My birthday was a month ago. Nobody saw me on my birthday. Because I did the thing I wanted to do with the person I wanted to do it with, which was me.
Yes.
I was dodging calls from mom. I was dodging calls from family. I was getting notifications from Facebook and even LinkedIn. We're like, oh, happy birthday. I was like, don't fucking talk to me on my birthday, motherfucker. I'll address these on the next day.
Yeah. I will respond back to you after my birthday, not specifically on my birthday. Thank you.
So crazy. Dude, I one of my exes had that. She was one of those like, it's my birth week, it's my birth month, you know, like
I do.
Like
so here's the thing.
She was exhausting. She was exhausting.
I do that too, but I do it for different reasons. I do it for, oh, you have to leave me alone this week.
Yeah. No, she was the exact opposite. She's like, anyway, it was cool, right? Like, cause I you know, like it didn't matter, but it was exhausting, man. It was like,
yeah, I hear you.
It was like, man, that's like, I like brunch, but like, there's a different energy in brunch when it's like, hey, all of us are going out to have brunch versus all of us are going out to celebrate your birthday for the 3rd time this month because your birthday was on the fucking 4th. You're a monster. You're a monster hijacking everybody's fucking fun.
Everybody, yeah, right, exactly. Like, let me have my peace. Let me have my freedom. I don't stop trying to do for me what you'd want me to do for you on your birthday.
Tell me what you want me to do for you on your birthday. Write it down.
Yeah.
Don't drop hints. Men are simple creatures, Jay. Men are simple creatures. If you tell us, you don't even have to like blueprint it. We'll just give us the fucking like not even the GPS. Give us the landmark directions of what the thing you want to be doing is, and we will fucking figure it out, man. Like, and if it's something very specific, feel free to grab the reins. We will do exactly what you ask us. You'll be like, oh, I want to have dinner at this place, and I want to do this, and I want to do that.
We'll write it down. 100%.
Cool. Hey, guess what? The day you tell me you want to have dinner at a specific restaurant, I'm calling that fucking restaurant. Hey, I need a reservation for this day. So that's 3 months from now. Like, do you not take reservations that far in advance? No? Okay. How far in advance do you take reservations? 1 month? Cool. I'm going to call you back.
I'll call you 2 months from now.
Okay, Google. Alexa, Siri, whatever you want to say.
I was going to say Bixby.
Set alarm.
For me, it would be Bixby, but go ahead.
Yeah, 6 of 1, right? Set alarm for this time on this day to call the restaurant and set a reservation.
That's correct.
Like, problem solved. We're gonna get done. You want a thing? Bought it already. Hung out at our parents' house because you can't be trusted. Like, we're gonna do it, man. Like, just don't. Well, I want you to know. Well, I'm not going to.
Oh,
I'm not going to. Like, I'm not going to. She's finally
gotten, after 10 years of, 10 years will be in August, 2 months from now. After 10 years, and I think it's 14 years together, maybe 14 years ago. But after 10 years, she's finally understood that I don't pick up on hints. I don't pick up on hints. I am a direct guy.
I pick up on moods. I just know better than to talk about them. Look, if I know you're in a bad mood, when you're in a bad mood, I'm not like oblivious to it. I just know like what's wrong is not a like, I don't want to have this conversation right now. Do you?
Because they're not going to tell you. They're going to say, "Oh, it's okay." I've gotten to the point now where I will ask what's wrong. I'll say, "What's wrong?" And then she'll say, "Nothing." And then my immediate response back to her after that is, "Oh, so you're not ready to talk about it right now?"
Can't.
And then when
them's fighting words.
When I say
them's fighting words, man.
No, it's not, because when I say you're not ready to talk about it right now, she'll respond back and say yes. So now I've got my confirmation that something is wrong.
Yeah.
And then we're going to talk about it later. So therefore, I move on. I'm like, all right, cool. All right. I just wanted to verify and check that there is something wrong. There was some validity to the question that I asked you. What's wrong? There is something that's wrong. You are not ready to talk about it currently right now. So therefore, we will talk about it at a later time when you are ready. So now my follow-up question, usually about 2 days after, my follow-up question is, so what was bothering you 2 days ago? And depending on the response, I will know whether or not she's ready.
Yeah.
But I usually am pretty smart about when I ask the follow-up question. It's usually a quiet time. We have had a decent conversation about something. And then I'll bring up ever so spontaneously.
Yeah.
So what was going on a couple of days ago? And then
because
she'll be ready to share.
Because I know you don't know this, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna kind of peel back a curtain.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with dudes, man.
It kind of is.
Same.
Yeah.
No, I'm like from the same perspective. Like, there's a reason I don't date men. Like, there's a reason I don't date men. Like,
why specifically? Okay.
Because swear to God, same problems, no titties.
Okay.
Like, that's it. Like, I sleep with dudes? Fuck, no problem. Easy. Super easy, actually. Easiest thing in the world is for a dude to have sex with another dude. Super easy. Like, right now, you don't even have, like, if you're like, I think I might be, you could find out right now. You could download Grindr and be like, am I? Yep. Or no. Like, super easy. Like, zero effort to have, like, easiest thing in the world to have sex with a gay man. Easiest thing in the fucking world.
Okay.
Hardest thing is to date
that I never had before.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, like,
to date him, you said? Okay.
Yeah, because it's like, unless it's an energy, right? Like, what are you attracted to? Like, what regardless of what it is, there are things, there's personality, there's physical, there's always things you're attracted to, right?
Yeah.
Like, and there's, you have zero control over your attractions. You only have control over, like, how you react to them.
Right.
Like, that's the way, like, you have absolutely no control if you are or aren't attracted to something. You only have control of what you do with that, like, that attraction. Like, if I'm attracted to somebody at, like, a 7-Eleven, I have complete, like, oh, wow, that he, she, whatever, that very pretty, very attractive, very cute. What I do after that is where I become a piece of shit or not. You know what I mean? Like, what I do after that, like, oh, this person who's clearly busy right now probably doesn't have time for a random stranger to spit game. Like, that makes me an asshole. Like, you know, like, or 10 million other things. But the things that you're attracted to, especially if you're, bisexual, pansexual, queer, any kind of line in there, like, they very rarely do they, like, it's usually the same kinds of things. Maybe not exactly the same, but, like, similar traits in a person. Like, if you're looking for a relationship, you're looking for traits in a relationship. You're looking for, some people are looking for kind, some people are looking for funny, some people are looking for sarcastic, some people are looking for, like generous or thoughtful, or
I see what you're saying.
Or, like, and those traits for the person tend to like, if you are attracted to more than just one sex or gender, like, those traits kind of carry through. Like, what I find attractive personality wise in a dude is generally the same that I find attractive personality wise in a chick, or anything in between. So like, oh, okay, you're not a complete fucking moron. And you have a degree of shared interests with me. Like, oh, you like Star Wars, you like Marvel, you like whatever, right? Like, oh, okay, cool. You read. Okay. You read, what do you read? Okay, cool. Like, that kind of thing. The problem is there tends to be a lot of overlap in those personalities, regardless of what's happening. So, like, it's not just like you and your best bro who are like, hey man, we also just fuck. Like, no, it's very rarely that's very rarely the case. It's often like, oh, I'm attracted to feminine qualities. Some men have feminine qualities.
Okay.
Some men have feminine qualities.
I get what you're saying.
Which means I'm gonna get into the same fucking fights. That's the whole story. Brought it back. Like, I'm gonna get into the exact same fights.
So either way, you're saying relationship.
You forgot our anniversary. We haven't been dating for a year. It's our 5-month anniversary. I didn't forget it. I don't care. Same fights. These are real things. I'm not making it. This is a real conversation I've had with multiple different relationships. Like,
Nah, you floored me when you said 5-month anniversary. What the F are we talking about 5-month anniversary? Now, to be fair, I said this to my wife. I told her when we were dating, I told her that any relationship that I've ever been in has not gone longer than 4 months. I told her that. I was like, any relationship that I've ever been in has not gone longer than 4 months. So I did slightly self-sabotage once we got to about a year. I did. Not intentionally, but it was very new for me. It was very new for me. I was like, we're in a long-term relationship. This has gone past 6 months. This has gone past the 4-month period. This is weird. So yeah. I never had a desire to be like, oh, this is like a happy 6 months. And to her credit, she wasn't like that either. She was just like, happy 6 months. She's like, what the hell is that? I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, oh my goodness. But I do know some people who are like that. I have some friends who are like that. Oh, 4 months. Happy 5 months, happy 6 months. I'm like, what the hell is that? Let's celebrate milestones in a year. Let's go a year. How about that? 6 months? It's almost like you're jinxing it. That's how I feel. I feel like you're happy 6 months, it's almost like you're jinxing it at that point.
I'm a little different. I don't consider it a relationship unless it lasts 6 months.
That's fair.
Like, unless it lasts fair. 6 months, unless it lasts 6 months, I don't. You could meet my mom. We ain't in a relationship at 5 months and 29 days. Like, it don't matter. I don't give a shit. Meet my mom. Yeah. I don't care. She's cool as fuck. Love my mom. Like, yeah, here's my mom. Look, she's crazy. Love her to death. I'll bring you to Thanksgiving on our fucking 3rd day. I don't give a shit.
Thanksgiving? That's a pretty big step, bro. Thanksgiving is that's a big step. That's like my favorite. That's the holiday of all holidays. Yes, Christmas is great, and you know, from a religious standpoint, I really celebrate Christmas, and I think it's a bigger deal. However, I typically tend to like Thanksgiving more because you usually see more family around at Thanksgiving. Maybe is that how it is for you too? Like you usually see more family around Thanksgiving than you do see Christmas.
I'm Italian, so yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
Like Thanksgiving, it's weird, right? Because like they're so close. Also, comrade, I didn't know. I'm sorry, man. If that's the correct response, if the correct response is support, then good. I don't know what the correct response is in this circumstance. You let me know, and I'll hit you back.
Yeah, so here how we're interpreting what you said is. It sounds like that sucks. However, if you're like, oh, I'm free now, then...
Yeah, I don't know. Just got out is an interesting phrasing.
Right. I just got out of. Sounds like prison. So
yeah,
I feel like we should be celebrating that. But
I don't know.
My initial thought was...
Bro code, we're here for you, man. Like, whatever energy you want from us, we're going to give you. And it's as genuine as it could possibly be. Like whatever you want, you get. That's how it works. Like,
so no, the comments here are interesting. The shortest relationship was 9 months. That's a comment. Another one says my shortest relationship was 1 text. What the?
Yeah, like I don't consider it a relationship unless it's 6 months. Unless a real conversation has started. Like there's 3 real conversations, right?
Yeah,
3. The first real conversation that you could have in a relationship is moving in. That's the first, like, and not priority. That's the first in order. Just like the first of these 3 that I'm going to mention.
3
like moving
categories. Yeah,
moving in. Second is sharing a resource, whether that be like phone bill, access to a car. Is one that like some people have. I could think of a bunch of other things, but like you get the idea. Like a resource share that isn't just your apartment. And the third thing that like a relationship kind of goes into is like planning like trips and vacations ahead.
Oh, that's a big one.
It isn't that,
that's
but like,
one.
I'm not talking about like flights to Cancun inherently, but like when you're talking to somebody and it's like or an hour or two away of a trip, right? Like whatever, like, hey, do you want to go? My friend's having a barbecue. He lives in Delaware. Do you want to come? Like that's obviously like with a couple of days notice. Like that's a point in a relationship where it's like, oh, like, am I the kind of person? Is this the kind of person who I want to like latch onto in some way, shape, or form?
Yeah.
And generally, I don't do that in the first 6 months. I
think in
design.
general, well, for me personally, you said something a little bit different. You said meeting parents is not kind of like if you like your. Me personally, meeting my parents is a big deal. I'm from the islands, so
yeah,
you ain't meeting my parents if we ain't like that. Because you can't, number one,
meeting kids.
That's fair. May not. Meeting kids would definitely be one. Meeting
family might be a catch.
Well, I said meeting family. I would say kids and parents though have that's a hierarchy. Hey, you can meet a brother and sister. You can meet a brother or sister, depending on how the brother or sister is. But parents and kids and your own, there's levels to it. There's levels to the family. So, and for me personally, like I said, as an islander, you meeting my parents, listen, that's a big deal because island parents a little bit judgmental. So, and they know how to probe very well. So if I feel comfortable enough to invite you around, I know that you are now prepared for the interrogation. And not only that, it's not just that. Not only do I believe that you are prepared for it, I believe that I am prepared for whatever it is that you may get as a result. So I also have to be prepared too. So that's a big deal. That parents is a big deal in the islands.
Story time. I was, for some reason, right? I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's a Jersey thing. Maybe it's not just me. Maybe it happens to other people. But I had never known this to be a thing until it happened to me multiple times. I'm in high school, right?
Okay. When you say high school, I'm like, okay, brace yourself.
Yeah, right. High school was and for anyone who was unaware, I went to an all-boys Catholic high school. As fun as you would imagine it would be, of course. And in order to find relationships, then completely straight, Tony, was unaware of what a closet looked like, let alone was in one. Like, didn't, not part of it. Would have to go to either all girls Catholic high schools or public schools of like friends and like locales and stuff like that. So both my sophomore and my junior year, both of those cases, I started seeing somebody through a friend, right? Okay. And in both of, like, through a mutual from school, like one kid named Brett introduced me to this chick Allison, one kid named Mike introduced me to this chick named Amanda.
Okay.
And it's the same fucking story both times. When I met and again, they were just friends from, grammar school or whatever. When I met their current friends, like the group of friends they were currently friends with, not Mike, not Brett, but like their current circle, every one of them had a dude. And this has happened after this too, but like these 2 years back to back, like it happened. It was so fucking weird to me. Who, like, I'd meet, we'd all be doing some, whatever, fucking going out, teenagers, what we do, the mall, a bowling alley, whatever teenagers in the 2000s did. And they would like kind of pull me aside and be like, yo, if you hurt her, I'm going to fuck you up. That was a real thing. And I would just kind of be like, do you see me? You are not fucking, what are you kidding me?
Right.
And it was never a dude who like could intimidate me. Like it was never like a 6'7" guy who was like, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're like. It was always some dude who like I had a foot on, like conservatively a foot on, right? And he was just like, yeah.
But he still felt like he could take you.
But he came at with like he's like if you hurt her, I'm gonna fuck you up. And my response, the first time I know what my response was like, oh shit, okay. And then like I thought about it more in the first, I think it was Amanda. I thought about it more and I was like, no, he's not. No, he's not. He's not gonna do anything. What's he gonna do? And the second time it happened, it was this. Yeah. There's a lot of Mikes in Jersey. I don't know if you know this. It was another random guy named Mike who was like, yeah, you heard Allison, I'll fuck you up. And we were around people, and I remember so in high school I never did drugs. I'm sorry, I never smoked weed in high school.
Okay. Because
I thought it was a shitty drug. I thought it was a shitty drug that like made you dumb. I didn't realize it does that, but also kicks ass. So, but I did copious amounts of cocaine.
You confirmed what you thought, but at the same time, then you realized that they were also added benefits.
Yeah, it was. Okay. I was 18 years old when I had my first cigarette and my first joint. It was the same day too. I was like, fuck it, on my 18th birthday. But I was doing cocaine the entire fucking time. So,
all right, well, at least we've clarified that.
I was a little bit. We was drinking. Like I was a little bit, and I was up, and he said, dude, if you hurt her, I'm coming for you. And I remember the line that I didn't even say it. It just came out of my mouth, and then I realized I said it. I was like, how do you intend on doing that? Yeah, like, those words exactly. I will never forget it, because I've used them again. It was kind of like, he kind of looked. He was like, I'll just beat you up. And I said, no, how? Do you have a bat? Do you have friends?
Did you ask him if he had a bat and if he had friends?
Yeah. Like at this point, I'm in on it. I'm like, because if you want to tell me you care about your friend,
right?
If you want to tell me you care about your friend and you want to look out for her and that you don't want me to do anything shitty to her, I respect the hell out of that, man. That's your friend, and I wouldn't do that. But if you're gonna tell me that there's a threat, I accept. And now, just so you know, if I ever do hurt her, I'm telling her it was because of you.
Interesting.
And this dude, we did not talk. We did not talk. Like, and did I mean any of it? No, of course not. But like this stupid fucking arrogant machismo thing where I was like, bro, you don't want this smoke. Like, what do you, again, that's what I'm saying now, not what I said then, because that wasn't a phrase then. Like, you don't want, like, what, really?
Interesting.
I gave you no, unless I gave you a reason to believe that, right? Unless I showed up and was like slapping her ass and calling her a twat or something, like then like yeah, hey man, chill the fuck out. That's my friend.
I'm curious. Were they also Italian? Because that sounds like, no offense, offense. Don't take any offense to this. Yeah. It sounds like kind of like an Italian thing to do, to then try to intimidate somebody else in that sort of particular way.
Most people in New Jersey are Italian. Most people in New Jersey are Italian. That is correct.
That might be it. That might be it, bro.
It might just be a Dago festival of fucking testosterone. I don't know, but like, dude, it was crazy. It was crazy to me how just that energy. Again, like, where's this come? Like, man, all boys Catholic high school, we were just shit talking all the time. We were ready to fight. Yeah, we did. There was surprisingly way less fights than you would ever think there would be for an all boys high school.
That's fair.
Like, maybe there was like 2 a year, maybe, and like the rest of the fights were not fights. It was like, we have gym class together. We're gonna fucking rough each other up, and then we just fucked off because we had other shit to deal with. But like,
you had, I mean, it's typical high school, right? You had fights where people actually threw fists. You had fights where people actually really disliked each other. You had fights where people were just trying to establish dominance in the arena of high school, whatever the case.
Yeah.
There was different levels of fights, right?
Yeah, and like, but it wasn't that energy. The energy was so different in this, like, and then it happened with the last long term. I won't say the last, but like the last person who like was ex-fiance, like immediately one of her fucking friends also named Mike, and this was like maybe, I don't know, less than a decade ago.
What is this 3 Mikes?
Everyone
now?
in New Jersey is Mike, Joey, or Johnny, and once you understand that, there's a Mikey and Joey and a Johnny.
Mikhail and not Michael is what?
No,
One of them?
No, there are no Russians in New Jersey.
So all of them are Michael. Damn it! What the hell?
Yeah. So, like, this dude came up and was like, yeah, don't hurt her. And I hit him with the same line because I remembered it. I was like, what do you intend on doing if I do? What do you intend on doing if I do, you 30-year-old?
There?
Because we were 30. Like, no, I was like 28. She was older, but like they were all in their 30, 31. And I was like 27, 28 or something. And I was like, what do you intend on doing if I do hurt her feelings?
What did they say?
And by the way, we broke up. It was not clean. He's done nothing. Still to this day, like he's taken no action. So I'm like, oh, okay.
So what you're saying is that he's a pussy. Is that clearly what
I'm just saying, if you hear this, Mike Gallo, you're a fucking pussy.
He took the bait. You hear it? I laid it up.
Yeah,
he
calling you out. Come at me, bro. Come at me.
Get at me. Get at me. All right. Ball is in his court.
I'll meet you by the bike rack at 4 p.m.
Listen, just be very careful how long you guys fight for. If you do fight, if there is a fight, just understand that you guys are in your mid-30s now and a little bit older. That you can only go for about 2 minutes in terms of.
Sir, if I'm getting into a fist fight with someone with a schedule, I'm showing up naked and we're going in. Like, I'm walking out of my car and I'm in.
Are you also going to be greased up just to make sure that he can't?
No, just hairy and naked. I'm like, this is what you asked for. Okay, this is what you wanted. Mm-hmm. This is what you asked for.
That's fair. All right. Well, I'll know in the future never to pick a fight with you because I don't want to have to deal with that.
Oh, I talk about it a lot now. I just don't have the end. There's nothing worth fighting for anymore.
What is the point of fighting?
What democracy? Get fucked. I don't care.
Like, oh my god! Like
the next president? Fuck, whatever. Guys, I don't know if you know this.
We're screwed anyways. It doesn't really matter. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've seen conversations like, guys, if you don't vote for Biden, I'm like, what's gonna fucking shitty things are gonna happen in different way. Like, okay,
right?
Cool.
It's like, listen, Cat Williams said it best. He was just like, you either vote for your ex or the one before the ex. I mean, that's pretty much basically what the situation is. The ex
also,
or the
those are words to live by. Not what you just said, just Cat Williams said it best. That's always true. Cat Williams always said it best.
That's true. That's very true. That's very true. Right. Vote for, maybe Cat Williams should run for president. Maybe this is possible. All right, let's move on.
He wouldn't. He doesn't have time. He doesn't have the patience for it, man. Remember when Cat Williams called out Diddy, like, and then like a month later, everyone's like, "Yo, Diddy's a fucking sex offender," and we were like, and Cat's in his corner, like,
"Oh my god, did you?" My favorite part this year so far is watching Diddy's apology. That's been my favorite part. Also, I've only watched about 30 seconds of it.
What are you apologizing for? It's not like you made a mistake. It's not like you were fucked in. No, he didn't. He made a series of horrible decisions.
Okay, fine. A series of them.
It had many of opportunity to not do those things. It was still like, nah, we're good.
Nah, I'm gonna do it anyways, bro.
Remember when Drake was like, yo, it's time to sing songs, and Kendrick's like, I could wake up and hate you for the rest of my life. And Drake was like, oh boy, I was not prepared. I was not prepared. Kendrick drops Not Like
Kanye
Us, and I'm just like,
Kanye is still running for president. All I could think about was Dead Presidents with Deadpool. That's that. Whenever he said that. Wait,
Kanye is still running for president? I don't know what the fuck Kanye is doing.
Kanye is just walking around barefoot in everywhere.
Kanye's massaging a lasagna right now. We don't know what Kanye is up to.
Have no idea, bro. Listen,
all we know about Kanye is that Pete Davidson fucked his girl.
Very true.
Nothing else is known. Would
Pete
you be
Davidson-
in the?
Pete,
Would you be in the
Davidson
news?
has given, if I were living a single life, Pete Davidson has given me confidence because I'm like, if he looks like that, I have a chance.
Gotta have a 9-inch cock. Starting, like we're starting at 9 inches.
I mean,
There's no way.
yeah, I'm good. I'm from Jamaica, but yeah,
That's fine.
I'm fine. I'm just
I'm just saying, like that dude, like, yeah, but like on his frame, it looks like four
fair.
feet. Like, you know
That's
what I
fair.
mean?
That's fair.
Like
Yeah,
that is.
yeah.
He's like, I think he's like 6'5", and
there's
then
a little bit more. There's a little
a
bit more
rock
more cushion here.
solid 80 pounds.
Yeah, I would give him about 83, but yeah, let me sure.
Like soaking wet, holding a brick. Like he's
Yeah,
Got to be a tripod. Got to be, no question.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Anyway, Blade's director left.
Oh wow, there's Marvel things that we're gonna talk about. Okay,
There isn't. But Blade's director left.
which one is this one? Is this the
Who
third?
cares?
The second? Are we counting?
Blade's director left. He's the second director to depart the project, as MCU veteran Eric Pearson now works on the screenplay. Sub Antiva. Jan Demange is no longer directing the Marvel Studios Blade. The Rap has exclusively learned. Really? Because I've definitely seen this on other places.
Exclusively?
Yeah. Parting with French Algerian filmmaker after replacing Bassam Tariq.
Okay.
Marvel veteran writer who most recently worked on the Fantastic Four is currently working on the Blade script. 3 fired people who wrote previous drafts of the script. Marshala Ali is still. I clicked the button by accident. My apologies, everyone. We now have to look at the Top Chef advertisement.
At least it wasn't porn. I mean, that's good. At least.
But either
we
way,
dodged that bullet.
now we go to the other one. Marshala Ali's attorney, Shelby Weiser, on the delayed production of Blade. The deal was in 2019. They still haven't shot it, which is pretty much the craziest thing in my professional opinion. Well, for what it's worth, the deal was in 2019, and then for 2 years, nobody did anything. And then for another year after those 2, Hollywood did nothing. So I agree that it is like 2019 to now is a long time, but 3 of those years do not count.
So
like, we know
2019 to
that.
2022 were a ish show, basically. The world shut down, and then the
Hollywood shut down.
Shut down, yeah. There's no other way to say it. It was just shut down for pretty much basically 3 years. This is wild because we were talking about this a little bit. Mahershala Ali approached them, right, on making this movie.
Yeah, we just found this out. Like, Mahershala Ali was like, yo, we should do a Blade movie starring me as Blade. And they were like,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
he's the reason the last script got canned. He has, like, creative control. So,
Right.
I don't think he's walking because he's the one who wants this.
Right. It's not.
Everyone's
it's
like,
not them. They're willing
He's
to
50
oblige.
now. That doesn't
Yeah.
fucking matter how old he is. What, like, he's
50
Mahershala
now.
Ali. Yeah.
Damn, he looks good.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Like, whatever, man. Like, I don't care how old he is. It's a Hollywood movie. Like, Clint
Right.
Eastwood had 2 threesomes in The Mule. Like, I don't think he actually had those threesomes. Like, Hollywood, man. Who gives a shit? I don't know. I think there's a lot of doom and gloom on Blade. And it's fun to talk about. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
Because they've confirmed Midnight Suns.
Yeah, I mean, right, and is that gonna be a spinoff of what happens in Blade, or is it gonna be because if you're gonna bring in Midnight Suns, I mean, who do we have in the MCU right now that can kind of flit into Midnight Suns? We have Doctor Strange that's there. We do have, we did get Elsa.
We got Elsa.
You know,
we got Man-Thing.
We
got Werewolf by Night. Like, we got those guys.
Werewolf by Night. We don't have a Morbius technically. But
yo,
he was
Blade
more
is
of a
reaching
later-
Morbius levels of pushback, by the way. Just throwing that out there.
Who is?
Blade the movie is reaching Morbius levels.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Maybe vampire movies just don't matter. Like maybe that's the curse.
And there was a rumor out that like Ryan Gosling could play Ghost Rider or something like that. So
no, he wants to play Ghost Rider.
He wants to play Ghost Rider. So
he was like,
okay.
"Hey, I want to be Ghost Rider," and Kevin Feige was like, "Oh,
right.
Hold on, let's finish Blade first."
Mm-hmm. In 2028. All right.
I was not ready for that.
Come on, bro. That movie does not get made until 2028. Okay, I might give it 2027.
Queen of the Damned is great.
Queen of the Damned is good, but no. All right, let's predictions. When do you think Blade actually gets made? Do you even think it gets made?
The problem is,
oh god, here we go.
I do think it gets made, but I cannot possibly imagine when. My guy, there is one movie coming out this year, and the next thing I have to talk about on that topic. Fuck you for falling. Something just fell. Is that Deadpool and Wolverine? The plans.
Yeah.
Are to open with a $200 million opening weekend.
Yo, it's possible. I'm hearing people. There are people who have reached. Like, I have friends and people who have reached out to me and are just like, "I'm gonna go see this movie," and they don't. And I know that they don't go to watch movies, but they're just like, I had a friend today. He was just like, "When is that movie coming out again?" I was like, "Yo, it's coming out in July." He was like, "Oh, I gotta go see that," and I was like,
"Right?
You?" I'm like, "You don't go to the movie theaters ever." He's like, "Yeah, but it's Deadpool." Yeah. I was like, "It's Deadpool and it's Wolverine." Damn, that was a good decision. Deadpool and Wolverine.
I'm just afraid that a whole bunch of clipboard people are going to take the wrong lesson away from this. Yeah. I'm afraid that Disney is taking away the wrong lesson. The correct lesson to take away from this is the correct lesson. It doesn't matter what the movie is rated, as long as it is fun, entertaining, and full of what your audience wants. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What your audience wants. What your audience wants.
That's the first time I think I've ever seen your mic. All right, go. Okay, this is a good experience for me. I feel like this is the equivalent of you taking off your shirt in front of me and me seeing your mic. But proceed. Go ahead. Continue.
No, it's accurate. It's
okay.
It's roughly the same size too, in width and length.
I'm picturing it now. Sorry, proceed.
I like, bro. It's possible that this movie's opening weekend does better than the Marvels.
Yeah, entirely. Yeah,
like the entire. Yeah, like. And I really don't want them to be like, okay, cool. If we spend a lot of money on marketing, these movies will sell. And I'm like, no, it wasn't the marketing.
Yeah, it's who you're marketing. It's what you're marketing. That's what the difference is.
Okay.
What hype? All right, let's pause for a second.
Yeah.
What movie has there been this much hype over in
Spider-Man,
the past
No Way Home.
10 years? I was gonna say in the past like 5 to 7 years.
No Way Home was the last one with this much hype.
And that was it. And then before that, it was Endgame because of what happened in Infinity War.
No Way Home had Endgame levels of hype.
Yeah,
you couldn't go anywhere without hearing about it. Like, it was everywhere.
It was huge. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, Multiverse of Madness had a decent amount as well, but that was because of No Way Home, because we saw Doctor Strange in No Way Home.
Yeah. And
then that was the beginning of, oh no, what are they doing?
Yeah, because they already leaked. They already kind of were like, hey, like the thing about No Way Home was it was really easy to make the assumption that 2 more Spider-Men were showing up after they were like, we brought back Alfred Molina and Jamie Foxx. Like, once we're like, why would they bring those guys and not the other Spider? Like, there's no reason. Like, it wasn't a spoiler. No one would have been shocked by it. Yeah. It needed, they needed to either hide all of the information, right? All of it, or like, it wasn't a spoiler. Like, no one was shocked in the theater when they're like, oh, what? Like, everyone knew. We talked about it last week.
Yeah.
But Deadpool and Wolverine is a movie that people have wanted, with characters people have grown to love and actors people have respected. It has No Way Home energy, but not child energy, not kid energy. It has adult. So this is not a rant. We're saving that for later. Okay. Disney has had a hard lock for many years on very specific demographics. That's not to say not everybody loved Disney. Most Disney fucking movies are the shit. They are. Like, fucking going back to Aladdin all the way up to fucking Frozen and Moana and shit. Like, they're great movies. Disney had a hard lock on women, gay men, and children. That was they locked. Like, children, new Disney movie, your parents are fucking taking them. Yeah. Women fucking loved it. Right? Loved it. Gay men? Bro. Bro. The songs. Like, come on. Like, no. Amazing. I love it. Elsa? No. Like, like, and I'm specifically saying gay men, because I can't speak for anyone else. Gay men. Absolutely. Yeah. Then they went and they bought Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios strengthens the children brand, right? When they bought Marvel specifically. Now they have more toys, more things to sell to kids, but also comes with a very strong, not gay, not straight, just dude demographic. Specifically, 18 to 35 and a little bit older, but 18 to 35. Then they bought Star Wars for $4 billion. Star Wars is a show, is a movie, a series, for old fucking dudes. That's what it is. Like, kids like it. Like, people like Star Wars because they like decent stories or high fantasy and you know, space shit. Laser swords, super cool. But like, I hear you. Old dudes is the Star Wars demographic. And again, I said this isn't a rant. But you can't Disney-fy. Yeah. You cannot Disney-fy things that you bought to have a market that you don't have. And that is a lesson that Disney is learning so hard right now. Wait, we're trying to make movies for everybody. Stop.
Well, the thing is, but that's not really it though. Is that they're trying to make movies. They're trying to course correct. This is one of my issues, and I personally don't have a problem with them trying to reach other demographics. I don't have an issue with that. My issue is that exactly, like, why would I like to see them representing all that they can represent. My issue with what they're doing has more to do with the fact that you took a complete 180. Instead of saying, you know what, we're going to still continue to give the fans what they want and what they love, and then we're going to sprinkle in a little bit for this group, a little bit for that group, a little bit for this other group, because we understand that representation matters. We understand that it's important for us to show that we care about, our fans and that we're trying to build our audience, but to completely course correct and go in the other direction has been the problem. And I will say this. I do think that to a certain extent that some content creators that are out there really just feed too heavily on it and really amplify it to the degree when it's really not as necessary. And I understand that too. That's a part of it. But it is Disney's responsibility to also acknowledge that maybe they're not going about it the right way. And maybe they're trying to course correct too heavily, and it's becoming it's too heavy. It's too heavy for the audience. It almost feels like in order for you to be able to include more diversity, more inclusion, that you're alienating the audience that you already had before.
You know what's funny? Sometimes maybe I don't think that's nearly as big an issue. I think like there are things where DEI gets really fucking weird, but I don't diversity, equality, equity, and inclusion, I think is what DEI stands for. I don't remember. There are things where it gets like weird, but I'm gonna do an example. Beauty and the Beast, phenomenal Disney movie, the original, like phenomenal Disney movie. Yeah. Beauty and the Beast the original Disney movie did not make Gaston look like a bad guy. Mm-hmm. If you really looked at it, if you watched the original Beauty and the Beast, watch it now. Gaston is the only sane fucking person.
Right.
There is a literal fucking monster, and Belle is being captive. I do not like it. I'm going to say it, the new Beauty and the Beast movie, better movie. All around. Better movie. And I'm bringing it up for a reason. The new Beauty and the Beast, better movie. Like, they made Gaston a true piece of shit in a way that he previously wasn't. He was a villain in that movie.
Yeah.
I now believe that the Beast, and they also went a little bit, he was always an arrogant dick. Yeah. He wasn't a good guy, but if you were told that the literally autistic girl who lives alone with her crazy fucking father was kidnapped by a monster, you would also be like, we gotta go get her back.
Yeah.
For what reason? Doesn't matter. We gotta go get her back. Like, that she's literally autistic. Like, they didn't have a word for it. Like, that she's autistic. Does it matter? I mean, no, of course it doesn't. But like, she is.
There's a ton of characters. By the way, you've never watched the Bridgerton, right?
You keep telling me I shouldn't. I don't mess with monsters. I do if the girl's hot. I'm just saying. Like, I fought some monsters.
Do you like Monster Girl from Invincible? No, I'm kidding. All right, move on.
Yeah, of course. Not like in monster form though. Not in like 12-year-old form. Like, get out of here.
That's fair. That's incredible.
Yeah, no, give me that snoo. No, the reason I'm saying this is because there was a lot of hate. 1.7 billion worldwide, sorry, $1.2 billion movie. But at one point, at the end of the fucking movie, two dudes kissed. And everyone's like, can you fucking believe it? No, everyone wasn't like that. A bunch of idiots were like that. And everybody saw this movie and went, yo, this shit's dope. Because Beauty and the Beast was dope. The Aladdin remake, a little bit worse. For a lot of reasons. Because they're like, what if we change the entire thing to be about Jasmine's struggle? And it was like, no, Jasmine was already the shit. Jasmine Aladdin? Was already dope. Yeah. The original with the Aladdin. No, Jasmine was already the shit. Like, Jasmine was dope as fuck. She saw through Aladdin. She was smart as fuck. There was no... the dumbest person in that show is Aladdin. In the movie, the original movie, was Aladdin. He was the dumbest person. And the Sultan, but like, fuck that. She was 100% on par. Like, she was on the game. She knew it was Aladdin. Yeah. Raja was trained. There was a tiger that just chilled with her. She trained that tiger. That tiger knew not to fuck with Jasmine. There was never anything wrong with Jasmine. Being like, no, she's going to be the Sultan. I'm like, no, that's not what would happen in in that time frame under those. Like, no, Aladdin would be the Sultan, but he would definitely let Jasmine fucking rule. Like he's lazy.
Yeah, and that was my frustration with it. I'm just like, why did you need to change it so that she could be the Sultan? I'm like, I don't understand. And that is where I step in and I say, I feel like content creators are amplifying crap because that's what they do, right? And people then follow those things because I don't blame the content creators.
The reason
content creators, by the way, are going to do what is going to get them views. Like I'm not upset with I'm not going to name names, but I'm not upset when people do that.
The reason her father didn't name her the Sultan is because the guards wouldn't listen to a woman. It was a fucking patriarchal garbage society from like thousands of years ago.
I was gonna say, look at the time frame.
It was not gonna work. It just in an area that it was like, no, that wouldn't happen because it's not taking place now. If it did take place now, no, it would be stupid and no one would care.
Yeah,
it's called a rom-com. We watch them all the time. I recently rewatched the one with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, The Proposal, I think it was called. Yeah, I love that movie. That movie's great.
I've watched that movie multiple times. Yeah,
that movie's phenomenal. Like, super high-powered woman, totally in control, totally in charge,
and also hot. Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, we believed it. We believed Sandra Bullock was hot. Anyway, please continue.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I'm not with this whole like anti-woke crowd, this MCU crap, but I do see where I'm like, yeah, but Disney, like, could we do it in a more reasonable fashion? Just a more reasonable fashion. Let's have inclusion, let's have diversity, but could we also not make a complete 180 switch to where you're also alienating the fans that you've already built? Because you got to understand, they've built this audience now up until 2019. And then now we're going to like just course correct it completely and just start. No, like you have to also still include, still service the fans that are there while still making ways to incorporate, let's say, Echo, right? You can incorporate an Echo series with a strong woman of her culture, still stick to the source material, but still highlight, her cultural background or whatever the case is. And we can move on from there. You can still have a movie like The Marvels. Actually, there's nothing really wrong with The Marvels, except for the fact that the villain sucks. So we're going to move on from that. But you can still, I think the biggest area where I've seen a lot of people have frustrations has been with the Star Wars franchise. It really hasn't been much with the Marvel properties. There was She-Hulk that had a big backlash, right? But to me, I look at She-Hulk and I kind of like eliminate that one because I'm like, well, She-Hulk wasn't really different in the comic. Like, she's kind of the same in the comics for the most part. It's just that the show didn't pick a lane and stick to that lane correctly. Is she a lawyer who is,
who's the main character of WandaVision?
Wanda. That's what they've made that very clear. It's not Vision, it's Wanda.
Okay.
It's not both of them sharing it simultaneously. It's Wanda.
Yeah, no, it was specifically Wanda, right? Wanda was the main character. Mm-hmm. The Vision was a pun because it was a TV show. Mm-hmm. Would you say, scale of 1 to 10, what would you say WandaVision rates? 8?
I would probably put it around the 7.5 to 8. I would say probably 8. Yeah, 8, around 8.
Female lead, strong character, entire commentary of the stages of grief. That was what the stages of grief.
Yeah.
Well written, well acted, paced well, good, paced okay. Like, could have been better, could have been worse. Ms. Marvel. Ms. Marvel was phenomenal. But here's the thing. Ms. Marvel just brought up. Ms. Marvel was great. Wasn't for me. Like, Ms. Marvel wasn't for me. Ms. Marvel wasn't for a 36-year-old Italian dude.
Yeah.
Who happens to like Ms. Marvel. Like, it wasn't a show for me.
It was a show for teenagers.
It was a show for kids.
And people who were just... and it also may touch an audience who are just getting out of teenagerhood, 20s, low 20s. You know, it would hit that sort of demographic, but the entire show was geared towards kids as an audience. Like, it's one of the only shows where I can say to my daughter, who's about to be 8 in 2 months, hey, you can watch that show. I wouldn't have her watch WandaVision because I don't feel like the ending of WandaVision was appropriate for her. That might give her nightmares. But like the Miss Marvel series throughout was an appropriate series. It was a series that I knew that she would like. Because it was targeted towards that audience. And I understood that, so I wasn't upset about it.
Here's the problem. There are things, and the reason I brought up Beauty and the Beast, because I think that there is a lot more fake rhetoric, and I do mean fake rhetoric, on things like diversity and inclusion. I believe that there is that does exist.
Yeah.
I do not believe it to be the reason these things fail or succeed. I don't.
It's not.
You haven't watched The Boys?
What people complain about.
You haven't watched The Boys, so I'm not going to give spoilers in any meaningful way. But this is something that happens in The Boys. Is it a spoiler? Who cares? You know Frenchie, right?
Yeah.
Did you know from previous seasons, because they did say it in previous seasons, did you know Frenchie's bisexual?
He pretty much made he's made enough comments throughout the entirety of the 3 seasons where you would understand that he is very much willing to go the other way.
Cool.
If given the opportunity.
Do you like Frenchie as a character?
Oh, Frenchie's amazing.
I fucking love Frenchie.
I love Frenchie.
Do you know why I love Frenchie
in the series?
Do you know why I love Frenchie? And I hate you know I hate the French. You know I hate the fucking French. I love Frenchie because he is such a good character that nothing he says or does in any manner under any circumstances takes away from how good a character he is. Like, he is so good all the time.
I also like characters that lead with their heart, and he's a character where he functions on how he feels, which is bad at times because you really would like for him to use a little bit of his logic, and he's not stupid. He's not stupid. It's just more that he functions, he operates on his heart, and for me, that creates more dynamic with a character because you never really fully know what to expect.
Frenchie fucking men is not a plot point. It is not an attention. It is not a mission, an agenda, a message. They wrote a character who is very open sexually. And in this season, he is sexually attracted to a guy, and there is a reason, and there is a story, and it matters. He is not, and now look, Frenchie, fucking dudes. Like, Fastos and his husband and their child in Eternals was done so fucking well.
Yeah.
Like, it was, it's just a dude who's married to a dude with a kid. Great. Yeah. They weren't like, the PTA is coming down on us for being 2 gay dads. Like, no, them being gay, which is the struggle is for that. Just so everyone knows, so everyone remembers what the LGBTQ struggle is. To not be treated differently. It's not to have more fucking attention. That's what attention whores want. It's not to have more or better rights. That's what attention whores want. It is to not be treated differently. And when you present someone differently, you are forcing them to be seen differently, which is inherently going to force them to be treated differently. You want to introduce a gay couple on a TV show? Great. Will and Grace did it 20 fucking years ago. And that was the meme. There was the meme show. And it took that show to make it so that people can be like, oh yeah, it's just, these two are gay. These two are lesbians. This is a transgender person. Like, okay, cool. Anyway, but that can't be their personality. I know people in real life where gay is their personality. Juan. He's not watching this. Like, I know that's his personality, is like gay man. What, like, that's all his personality is gay man.
So somebody says if we get Young Avengers and people rage about Wiccan, I'll lose my mind. Well, they're gonna see some of that in the Agatha series because he's in there.
If we get Young Avengers and people rage about Wiccan, but I mean, people are gonna rage, but like, it's not gonna be real people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna be fans of the Young Avengers. Yeah. It's not gonna be those people, because motherfucker, comic book fans have been like, oh, okay. Here's the thing. This is all it comes down to, and this is where like this entire point is. It doesn't matter if you make character gay or straight. It doesn't matter if you make a lesbian witch coven in Star Wars. None of that shit matters. It's all fucking cool. What matters is your job when making movies, period. Especially garbage popcorn movies and TV shows. Like, you're not trying to change you're not making Slumdog Millionaire. You're not making a documentary on climate change. You are making entertainment in an attempt to tell a story using an intellectual property that has a built-in audience. Why, oh fucking why, are you not just being like, hey, audience, you want this, right? Here's this. We'll get paid. Your job is to make money. That's all your job is. You don't have to, it's not to make $1 trillion every fucking episode. Like, not, you know, like, it's not to be like, I spent $280 million on this Disney Plus show so that we get 4 trillion subscribers. Like, no, that's not what, like, it's to keep the people who pay for your subscription subscribed. It's why Netflix put out 4 trillion fucking movies, so there's always something on. Now it's cable TV. You can make shows like Ms. Marvel, which are shows that are not for me, but I still enjoyed. Yeah. You can make shows like Echo. The difference between Ms. Marvel and Echo is that Ms. Marvel, again, a little bit bad pacing. They seem to have a problem with that.
And bad ending. Once again, they don't do very well with their finales. It's a given fact.
I think pacing has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
I watched Ms. Marvel. I had a personal problem with her being a mutant. It did not detract. It was the one thing I didn't like about, well, that and the entire villain sect of like the clandestine. I was like, you suck. But like, they sucked, but it wasn't like
they were
unwatchable
to connect to like the multiverse saga with like the whole free thing. So I mean, I understand it. It's just it was frustrating. Yeah,
like it was bad, but it didn't ruin the show. I was like, oh, okay, it's just a dumb villain. There's plenty of dumb villains.
Yeah.
Echo, what story were they trying to tell? Was it a redemption story? Was it a family story? Who was it for if it wasn't first and foremost for your fucking audience? That's my question. Was it you trying to get a new audience to subscribe to a show?
You know, I've never heard anybody put it in that context, but you're just like, yeah, what story were they trying to tell? So the whole thing for me, and this is how I felt, they were just trying to really highlight a cultural background and and introduce like a new culture to the Marvel universe, right? But that was all I got from it. What my frustration with the show is that you were right. Like, I don't was it a redemption story? I thought it was supposed to be a redemption story. I thought it was supposed to be not even a redemption story. You know what I thought it was supposed to be? A story of her finding herself after being under the tutelage of Kingpin and now finding out that he was the one to betray her, and then figuring out who she finally is now, like after the pain of her father dying, who she's supposed to become, who she's supposed to be, where does she fit into this world. I thought that's what the story was going to be about, her finding herself. I didn't get that. All I got was, oh, okay, cool, this really cool culture about the, what is it, the Choctaw Nation? I was like,
Choctaw.
This is cool. However,
it was cool. There were episodes where it was really fucking cool.
It was cool, and I'm being very genuine about that. I thought it was cool. Like I genuinely think it was really cool. I just ended it saying I didn't really care much about Echo. I cared more about her cool culture, not her. And
her super fucking hot sister.
That's fair. Yeah. Who never did anything. But I never, and for me personally, I'm an emotional person, right? I'm an emotional person. This was my issue with, I'm gonna, you know what? Let's rant started now.
You go.
This is my issue with a lot of the TV shows and a lot of the freaking movies that we've gotten recently. Let's start off with the Marvels. Here's the thing about the Marvels that bothers me. You had a Captain Marvel who destroyed the Supreme Intelligence, and you could not once show me the after effects of that. You couldn't show me the reason why Darwin was so pissed off and needed to become the leader to then go after these Bengals. You couldn't show me why we were supposed to care about this villain. Prime opportunity. You know what they could have done? Show me how the people weren't able to breathe properly anymore because they lost the air. Show that to me. Don't tell me. Don't tell me that they lost the air. Show me that. Show it to me. Bring me into that moment of, oh my God, wow, did you see her just like suffocate and die right in front of her? Did you see Darwin lose her family around her? Did you see her try to save someone, but she couldn't get to them in time, and that just radicalized her? Nope. Didn't get that. All we saw was Captain Marvel destroy Supreme Intelligence and then fell on the ground. And then all of a sudden now we're supposed to believe this motivation. I'm sorry. What? That's issue number one. That's issue number one. And that's the Marvels. Doctor Strange. Let's go back to this film, right? Yes, WandaVision has some issue. WandaVision started some issues. She's lost her family. She lost her kids. Doctor Strange. Now, they didn't really show the mature. See, the thing about Doctor Strange is that I expected maturity and growth from him as a character. Now having to learn to be essentially to assume a position of leadership in a way, because now there's no more Tony Stark. Now there's no more Captain America. So now we expect him to be at a all-time higher maturity level now, and to really kind of take this next transition into becoming sort of like the leader that he's supposed to be. But instead, we kind of just got to see him again breaking the rules, which is fine. Like, that's kind of like his character. That's his nature. But they didn't really show a growth of him becoming more of a leader in that leadership position that we need him to be in order for. And maybe this is just something where I'm just like, he's supposed to be like the next guy, right? Like one of the next leaders for the multiverse saga, for the Avengers. They didn't really bring me on a proper growth progression before that. And maybe that's just like a me thing, but that's just kind of what I wanted from him. And I didn't see that. I also feel like they have neglected the idea and the fact that what we as an audience were able to connect to in the original Infinity Saga was that we had three pillars that we were able to lean into and say, yo, these are our guys that are carrying this damn story. We had Iron Man, we had Captain America, we had Thor. We had these guys that we could literally attach ourselves to and progress through their entire stories. We had these three pillars. There are no pillars for us to attach ourselves to at all. We're just kind of looking at all these random ass stories and we're asking ourselves the question what? Okay, what's going on with Captain America? Is he like a leader now or is he not? Okay, Miss Marvel is a mutant, but okay, all right. So we're getting Young Avengers. Oh, we're not sure if we're getting Young Avengers or not. Okay, well, Wanda is now evil. Okay, so there's no pillars for us to Spider-Man, he's now so that all those three movies were just his origin story. So where does he stand right now? We don't have any pillars to attach ourselves to. None.
They haven't done a good enough job of making us attached to Shang-Chi, of making us attached to Captain Marvel, of making us attached to Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Strange is corrupted now. Period. End of discussion. Mm-hmm. We followed Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. There were other people. We followed other people. But we knew. Yeah. When those movies hit, the lore drop was coming. Mm-hmm. Every other movie filled in some blanks. Mm-hmm. Those movies progressed the story. We don't have that.
Right.
Ant-Man tried, failed. Thor 4 might have tried, failed. Doctor Strange failed. That's what they all failed at one thing.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I was hyped for Kang right up until Quantumania. I was
How could you
so
not
hyped.
lose hope after that? How could you not lose hope? I mean, damn. And listen, the meme is the ants. The meme is the ants, right? That's the meme. It didn't matter if it was ants. It didn't matter if it was wasp. It didn't matter what it was. The fact that he lost, period, was the issue. You can't have him lose in that position. You can't introduce a villain and then not have him take something away. Because how are we supposed to know that he's someone that we should fear? Loki introduced him, granted variant, Loki introduced him as a bad, but also this guy that was trying to prevent what Quantumania Kang is. That's who he was. That Kang was supposed to be it was a preparation for us to be prepared for what we could get in the Quantumania Kang. And then the Quantumania King was supposed to be a fulfillment of that prophecy of, if you kill me, you unleash him. Right? That's what it's supposed to be. If you kill me, you unleash him. And when you get him, you are effed. And
wait
then
till you meet my
other variants. Right. And then we got Quantumania. And then he lost. Didn't matter how he lost, he lost. And because of that, it left us saying, well, I mean, if he can be defeated easily like that, he really isn't that big of a deal, is he?
It wasn't even defeated. No stakes.
Yeah, you're right.
Ant-Man and him getting trapped together was the only way that movie had to end. Because you inherently know Ant-Man's not dead. The story tells you he's gone. Just like the story tells you Kang is gone. But you know you're going to see him again. You know what I mean?
Right.
But you knew Ant-Man wasn't fucked at the end of, what was it? Infinity War. Ant-Man 2.
The Wasp. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. When, he was trapped in there. You weren't like, oh, no, he's dead because he's trapped in there. You're like, oh, what's that going to do? You know?
Right.
Dude, there were theories that like all of the things that were flying around him were the souls of those that were snapped away. Like, because it lit up at a point. I was like, cool. All this shit. We knew something else was happening.
Yeah.
That's it.
We have no idea what's happening right now. None.
We don't even know what Deadpool and Wolverine's about. And that's refreshing.
I'm looking forward to not knowing, because I'm just like, I can just go into this movie and just enjoy it and then be surprised if you leave me a hint of something else to come. Like, that's it.
Oh, I gotta imagine that they're gonna do 3 post-credit scenes in this movie. Like,
oh, because he didn't do one with the Ferris Bueller scene in the first one.
No, I just mean like they have a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah.
I think that post-credit scenes are gonna do some fucking heavy lifting in this movie. Like, I don't think this movie is gonna do anything major other than kind of tie together a multiverse. We're still in the multiverse saga. They haven't changed that. Like, we're still in it. Phase 4 ended. There was no Avengers movie. They were just like, fuck it.
Yeah. I mean, in phase 5 is gonna end with no Avengers movie as well.
No,
I mean, we're not getting one.
No, we're getting 2005.
One?
2025, I thought.
I thought we were waiting until 2026.
Huh. Who knows now, right? All right, let's see. Phase 5 of the MCU. Ant-Man and Wasp, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Marvels, Deadpool and Wolverine, Captain America, and Thunderbolts. Oh, shit. You're right. Phase 5 isn't getting one either.
Yeah. So we're not getting an Avengers movie until phase 6. Which, we should have gotten an Avengers movie at the end of phase 4. Well, phase 4 was actually okay. But we should have gotten one middle of phase 5. Then another one in phase 6.
You're not wrong.
But, I mean, 2019 to 2022 did happen. But it also seems like there was no plans for it to happen around this time.
It's fine if the phase 4... I'm very poorly lit. I just realized that.
My lights are down, too. It's been,
I had no idea how poorly lit I was. And now oh no, I messed up one part of my light, and now all my lights are ruined for the rest of time.
That's a good meme.
See?
By Baka, by the way.
I didn't see it. Hold on. Clicking the link. All right, yeah. Yeah, I'm lit as fuck though. That's unrelated. I don't even know what's happening here. What's happening here, random light? Ah, we figured it out. Okay, cool. I'm lit again.
All right.
We're fine.
That's good.
I mean,
I don't know. It's disappointing because I feel like there is a lot that I want to see from them. X-Men 97 was so good. Like, I really enjoyed it. I thought that was, peak animation, but at the same time, it's animation. It's not live action. And
over one decade,
live action to be so
over
good.
1 decade, they told a very similar style of story 25 times. They had a formula. They followed the formula. They became the most profitable studio of the decade.
Yeah.
That's it. Period. End of discussion. Marvel Studios was the most profitable studio from 2010 to 2020.
Yeah.
No one else came close. Whoever made the decision, whomstever made the decision to be like, now it's time we change it up.
Yeah.
Now.
Mm-hmm.
They should not be working in this industry. Period. Like, you suck.
It wasn't their best decision.
Whoever decided, you know what? Let's give Sam Raimi a chance at Doctor Strange. And like they're just, the difference is there felt like no plan.
Yeah.
There felt like no plan. All of it. We were following along and we're like, okay, cool. What's the Eternals? We were fucking psyched for Eternals. Like, oh shit, more cosmic shit. Let's fucking go.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? Who's the bad guy? Okay. What's Kit Harington's character do?
Yeah.
Why are perfect beings deaf?
I don't know, man.
Because the actress is deaf. Cool. Then if she was a really good actress, you wouldn't notice. Like, it's not hard.
Nah, I get it.
I'll make it a part of the character. Oh, okay. Cool. For all those deaf movie goers, there's a couple. I'm not like everybody. So I understand that there are some people that like to see people that are like them.
Yeah.
I don't need Italian Jews, pansexual Italian Jews on screen. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm happy with who I am, man. I don't need representation. Cause I do happen, on the other side of it, I do happen to be a white dude. So like, I do, but like at the same time, man, you gotta believe that I wear jerseys of people I like, not people like,
yeah,
you know, like I have a Kobe Bryant jersey. Like I have a Kobe Bryant jersey. You know why? I don't think I'm Kobe Bryant. I know I ain't Kobe Bryant. I fucking love Kobe Bryant. I also have a Phillip Rivers jersey. Do I look like a Mormon? I ain't a Mormon. Also, I don't really care for Phillip Rivers. But the powder blue Chargers jerseys were the shit, and that was just the one I could get. Yeah. I still have. I just don't like advertise it a lot now. A Patrick Mahomes jersey after he won his first Super Bowl. I was like, yeah, this guy's great. Good job. I don't have a Brady jersey because fuck Tom Brady, but like,
how you stop that slander right now?
Single-handedly hurt football more than any other decision ever made.
What decision?
Tom Brady. Single-handedly.
How?
They're being too mean to me. They're being too mean to me. Could you stop? Stop being mean to me. That's just yeah. Dude, do you see the new kickoff rules?
Superstars get to do that.
Yeah. I'm never gonna say he's not the GOAT, man. That guy's great. Like fucking never will you hear me be like, yo, Tom Brady's not good. No, Tom Brady's the shit, man. I love like as far as a football quarterback, fucking legendary. As far as like making football enjoyable to watch. Oh no, stops is you hurts me's. I threw the balls. You can't hurt me's.
Nah, he was fine. He had pliability. It was like
look, dude,
like
there was
rubber.
Listen, man. Let me put it in a different perspective. There was a trade-off in football for a very long time. You weren't gonna live long, but the time you had on this earth was gonna be a great fucking time because you were rich as shit. That was the trade-off. Same with most sports. You were gonna get paid so fucking well that you were trading away your future to be very physical in the present. That is what you were trading. That was the trade-off. It was not for everybody. Andrew Luck changed the fucking game. That dude was like, I got hit once a little too hard, and now I'm just done. He retired, like, what, 6 years into the league?
It wasn't
a brisk 28?
It wasn't 20, long. Let me see.
That dude retired in less time than people who went, like, to become a doctor. Like, that dude was a multi-millionaire at the time neurosurgeons were just starting out. You know what I mean?
You are correct. He played for 6 years, 4-time Pro Bowler and an NFL passing leader in 2014. I believe didn't he finished like a runner-up to the MVP, I think once. Hold on.
Nah, I'm good.
He's
Y'all
you know,
paid me
this-
$27 million for 6 years of my life. I'm good.
He's 34 years old right now. He could have still been playing in the NFL at this age right now.
No. He still can be like he can come back and play in the NFL. And
Yeah.
honestly, there's like 3 teams that could use him right now. Like,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
remember. Oh God, remember Ricky
Williams?
Ricky Williams? Ricky Williams is like, yo, I'm gonna smoke some weed. And everyone was like, you can't smoke weed or you can't play football. He's like, well, I ain't stopping smoking weed. And they're like, well, then you can't play football. He's like, okay. And it just fucked off. He played for 2 years, made like $8 million, and then was like, weed's more important. And then 4 years later,
he came back.
he was like, they're like, hey, we don't care if you smoke weed. Do you want to play football? He was like, bet. And then he fucking ran for like 2,800 yards. High as a fucking guy. Ricky Williams is a personal idol of mine. Also, guys, before we're a black man.
Yo, hold on. I'm trying to look up his stats right now because his stats are probably. He's from Texas, which I mean, I guess it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Texas just means he just means he's a badass. All right. So his longest season rushing was in 2002. He had 1,800 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Had another 30. He had like 5 straight seasons of 1,000 yards, and that was back when 1,000 yards was a big deal. Now it's like, guys, whatever. But back then, like 1,000 yards was a big deal. He got suspended
then how many
in
years?
2006.
Didn't play for 4 years. Came back in 2010. Right?
No, he was back at he was back in 07. He only got suspended for a year. He was back in 07, but he only played one game though. He only played one game in 07. And then he came back. He came back again in 08. Did okay in 09. Yeah, his career kind of tapered off, but like he still had 10,000 career rush yards. I mean, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Ricky Williams just doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
And like, dude, it's funny because like, didn't one of the Kelseys retire? Jason?
Yeah. Jason Kelsey, the Philadelphia Eagles center.
34, 30. I think he's my age. I think he's like 36, 37, somewhere around there. Like, he's like my age. Mm-hmm. And like, he's like, I'm good.
I mean, he's already won a championship. There's really not much that he needs to play for, right?
No, like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, he could play for another couple years. Easily.
Yeah, he's 36 years old. Super Bowl champion. He's been a 6-time first team All-Pro.
Yeah.
7-time Pro Bowler. Like he already has a Hall of Fame. He already has a Hall of Fame career. Like if you ask me, like he already has a Hall of Fame career. Like he's set. So he's like, bro, already got a championship, already got a Hall of Fame resume. I'm done. You think?
Yeah. Okay. Now you apply that logic to Tom Brady.
Yeah, he just doesn't care, bro. He was just like, I just want to win.
He's like, I just, dude, if I could throw the ball, I'm gonna throw the ball. Dude, look at what's his name, Aaron Rodgers, in the Jets. Like, I can't wait for Aaron Rodgers to get hurt again because he's gonna. That dude's wild. That dude's getting hurt in Game 3 of the year.
Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion. Like when you go on Wikipedia, 7-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time Super Bowl MVP, 3-time Most Valuable Player of the Year, 2-time NFL Offensive Player of the Year, NFL Comeback Player of the Year because of the previous year where he had the ACL tear.
Mm-hmm.
15 Pro Bowls.
Yep.
He's now in the Patriots Hall. Oh yeah, I forgot they had Brady Day yesterday. His number 12 is now retired on the Patriots.
Winningest player ever.
Yeah. I mean, he's amassed all the records.
Yeah.
That Mahomes is going to break in like 10 years. or maybe 5. Who knows? Maybe 5.
Mahomes has how many Super Bowls now? 3?
Mahomes has 3 already. Now, I'll be honest with you. I don't think he gets to 7. He might get 5, though. He'll probably get 5. I don't think he can get to 7. I think he's damn good, but I don't think he can get to 7. Because at some point in time, it's about the team that's around you, too.
What do you think Kansas City's doing? What do you think Kansas City's spending money on right now?
They should spend money on an offensive line and receivers.
You know what? You're very technically correct. Remember when they benched Kadarius Toney for the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
You think
Smart
they're
play.
not? Yeah, you think they're not like... Kadarius Toney has a Super Bowl ring.
With who?
With the Chiefs.
Does he? He was on the Chiefs that year?
It was last year.
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, he has a Super Bowl ring. They benched him for the Super Bowl. They said they didn't, and he was like, "Nah, they benched me." They benched this man for the Super Bowl. He has a Super Bowl ring now.
So Mahomes very much could get 7. I just think at some point in time his team just breaks down, right? They're just not enough. I personally think that record should be broken, so I would like to kind of see him push for it at least a little bit, but it's a lot of work to be able to get there.
Used to be that the AFC had the best teams in football.
Yeah.
Oh, like the worst AFC team, which was always the Raiders, was still better than like most of the NFC North. You know what I mean? Like it just was, man. It just was. And the NFC exclusively had the NFC East, which always had 2 teams that were insane, minimum.
Yep.
And then like one wild card. Lately it's been the 49ers. Sometimes it was the Seahawks. Sometimes it was the Cardinals. But there was always just one random... But that was the only good teams in the NFC. It was the NFC East as a whole. Sometimes the Saints, and then there was like 1.5 other teams that were good.
Yeah.
That is reversed. The AFC now has good teams, but the NFC has the best teams in football right now.
Yeah, I would say the NFC has better teams. I just think it's just that the AFC has Patrick Mahomes. That's
Tom Brady.
The defining factor.
This is my point. Tom Brady was winning games, conference games against LaDainian Tomlinson and the Chargers. He was winning conference games against the Peyton to Harrison connection.
Well,
he was winning conference games. I
was gonna say, to be fair, LaDainian Tomlinson didn't play in majority of those games because he was out injured. But no,
there was a Super Bowl. Not Super Bowl, a AFC Championship game that they beat him in. That I think it was the first one or something, but I remember that. The whole point, Tom Brady was the GOAT against the best division of football and the best showing from the lesser division of football. Except twice the Giants, who were never the best. They just happened to have Tom Brady's number twice, which is fucking insane. Insane.
Still devastated.
Patrick Mahomes is now fucking coasting across the AFC and only has to win one game against the best conference, the best split NFC. They can win 20. Like, you saw the season. You saw the season play out for them. They didn't do great in the early games. They really didn't. They might not have made the playoffs around week 7, week 8. They were like, oh shit, we don't know.
How many games did they actually win in this season? Was it 9 or 10?
10.
Okay.
We're 10 and 8. And then it was just boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Who'd they face off against?
Baltimore Ravens in the AFC conference.
No, who was in the Super Bowl?
San Francisco 49ers.
49ers were a really good team. 49ers were a really good team.
Yeah.
This year. Mahomes only had to win one important game.
Yep.
He's going to crush the record, dude.
I don't know if he does though. Like I
they
still
don't
feel
need
like
much. They only need to win one game. The rest of them they're gonna handle because it's the AFC, and the AFC is not good. Even look at the draft this year. The fucking AFC didn't get shit. What are we worried about?
No,
Miami? I want Miami to win because Miami's fucking insane because their head coach is a crazy person.
No, I think the reason why I don't believe that he gets it is because as it gets closer, it becomes harder to get.
I don't think he wins
hump.
them all with the Chiefs. I think he's 3 more years with the Chiefs, and I think he's gone.
No, I think he's a Chiefs lifer.
I don't think so.
I think at some point in time, that loyalty sets in. Well, of course, you know what? There is a factor of this.
He's going to be there as long as Andy Reid is there.
I was going to say Andy Reid.
How many more years you think 65-year-old Andy Reid got in him? Andy Reid.
Honestly, I thought he was going to be done after this year, to be honest.
Andy Reid's blood is gravy.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be done after this.
Andy Reid was the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles from Donovan McNabb and Michael Vick times.
Yeah.
Like, he was the head coach of the Eagles when they had some of the most insane Westbrook. Oh, God, what was the running back who dropped the football at the 1-yard line?
Was that Staley?
No. Not the running back. Sorry, the wide receiver.
Kingston?
God. No.
Thrash?
He was the Eagles had a white. I'm trying to remember who it was. He was very fucking arrogant. They had Terrell Owens and then the Cowboys took him. No, It was after Terrell Owens when Terrell Owens was on the Cowboys.
Freddie Mitchell?
No.
Was Donovan McNabb still on the team?
No, it was post McNabb. It was they had a wide receiver.
Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson, thank you.
Yeah.
Deshaun Jackson, who ran the touchdown in, dropped the football at the 1-yard line. Deshaun fucking Jackson. Dude was fucking talented. Terrell Owens was insanely talented. Like,
yeah, he was good.
Andy Reid had the best fucking weapons.
Yeah.
In the NFC East, couldn't come up with a fucking bowl. Goes to the Chiefs.
He had a really damn good defense too. I mean, you got Bobby Taylor, you had Michael Lewis, you had Brian Dawkins.
Brendan
I love Dawkins.
Dawkins was a monster.
Oh my gosh, Troy Vincent was good. Back then, you had Douglas. They had players. Their offense
couldn't win.
Weapons were always as great though. That was when McNabb was there. Their offensive weapons weren't good enough. You throwing the ball to James Thrash and Todd Pinkston.
Remember when McNabb was quoted saying, like, I didn't know you could tie in football? It was a direct quote from Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
In the second to last game of the season. Anyway, football, right? Like, we could do that all day. Sports.
Of course. We could do anything all day, to be honest with you.
That's very true.
Yeah.
So the only other thing I have for Marvel stuff is there's this interview with Alex Perez, who we just found out. Alex Perez works for ESPN, ABC, which is owned by Disney. He is the Marvel kind of like reporter. Like, he's the guy who talks with Marvel, and he's the guy who breaks news for Marvel and stuff. They had an interview with him. I'm not going to go over everything because a lot of it was just him saying like the company line, but there's a couple of interesting points in here. What's the likelihood of Marvel greenlighting more shows like Moon Knight, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, Hawkeye, and Echo? Might be a while before any of these shows get a second season. Some of them are scheduled to pop up in other projects before. Also, it's too early to tell which shows go into production before this current saga ends. That was, again, Blade and Brother Voodoo, kind of hinting that Brother Voodoo will show up in the Blade movie. Like, that's a plan. Setting up Midnight Suns, because Brother Voodoo is Blade's brother.
Yeah.
I believe. Or maybe that's what they're doing. And then Captain America, Brave New World, and World War Hulk. Any idea who Giancarlo Esposito might be playing in the MCU? Nope, that's not true. He's just not allowed to talk about it. After Bob Iger and Marvel slowing things down, are we still confident that a follow-up to Cap Force Hulk story is still planned? There's a lot of side stories currently running at the same time in the MCU, and we know that the end game for the multiverse saga is going to be Secret Wars. There's no doubt about it. However, there is a story that's been built up by multiple projects in the MCU, which I call the World War storyline. And they name like Far From Home, WandaVision, Falcon, Black Widow, Eternals, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Secret Invasion storyline, which has been cooking from the sidelines, essentially as the countries of the world in fear of an unprecedented number of heroes that have started popping up in recent years, and a number of incidents. With no Avengers currently active, the nations of the world are in a race with each other to try to develop their own superhuman soldiers, which now is the most information we've got about what the plot of Brave New World is. This one line is more information than we've gotten anywhere before. Why is the leader in this movie? Why is the president going to become Red Hulk, which we know is going to happen? Is because it is a superhero arms race kicked off by the the Iron Man armor arms race.
Yeah.
That now has to happen. Because when the Avengers were the only superheroes in the world, they did not have to follow the rules. That's why the Sokovia Accords didn't matter. When Don Cheadle was like, the United Nations signed these, man. It was like, nobody fucking cares, dude.
Right.
Okay, how are they going to stop us? Like, we don't have to listen to them. Like that's the truth. We don't have to listen to them. That was the theory. And it was like, we should work with them, but we don't have to listen to them.
Right.
And again, Cap was about to sign until Tony fucking
decided to lie, you know what I mean? So
yeah, like before Tony was like, yeah, she's at the compound. Like she's a prisoner? Like the correct answer to that was no. She's going she's training.
Yeah.
Like we're hiding her away from like the public right now, but like she's not a prisoner. Thor's a fucking god. Yeah, the reason Civil War, that's why I love the Civil War premise, because Thor and Hulk weren't there. Because I'm gonna, spoilers, neither Banner nor Hulk are on the side of any government. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you couldn't convince that. And Thor was 100% like, you're puny fucking... You mean your government that has been nothing but shit the entire time? No, fuck your government.
Right.
Yeah, there was just no, like, they needed it to just be like, and even then they had Scarlet Witch. And that was so funny that they were like, like why was Vision on Tony's side? He was like, they gave him like, he's like, well, maybe some oversight would probably be okay. Really, dude? You're the smartest robot ever. Like, you don't see any downside? You can't see Cap's side on this? And also, while they were all mad at each other, they still let Wanda and Vision fuck? They were still like, where's Wanda? Where's Vision? Ah, it's Tuesday. Oh, okay. Cool. Let's go. Nah, man. Like, that entire thing is like Tony, Rhodey, and like maybe Black Widow. Like not even like they Civil War. The worst thing I had to believe was who was on the side of Tony. I'm like, nah, first of all, Black Widow is not going against Cap ever. And like when she turned at the end, I was like, yeah, that makes it. Yeah, of course she did.
Well,
Like,
that was the appropriate response, to be fair.
Black Panther made sense, even though he wasn't really on the side of Tony. He so much as he was on the side of, yo, I'm gonna fuck Bucky up.
All right, I'm gonna take a momentary break. I'll be right back.
All right, I'll keep reading about this. So this World War Hulk run, it's not going to be World War Hulk from the comics, right? It's not going to be, post-Sakaar Hulk mad at, like, obviously. But it can be a world where, like, the leader's plan the entire time was to just gamma fuck everything. And because that's been in like comics before, that's been in like Earth's Mightiest Heroes Avengers, where the leader's plan was to gamma everything and then like initiate control over all the gamma idiots because he was so smart. That could be the leader's plan. Like the leader's plan is like, yeah, we'll just turn everyone into dumb fucking Hulks that I can control. Oh, I didn't say that last part. And that's kind of the only thing that Captain America Brave New World can be about. Right? Nobody cares about Serpent Society. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares about, like, yeah, it's cool to see Harrison Ford end up being the Red Hulk as long as he's still alive and acting. Maybe casting another 80-year-old man to play a dude who died. I don't think John Hurt was 80. I think he was like 70-something. But maybe casting another 80-year-old man to play a dude who, you had to recast for dying was probably not the right choice. Maybe you could have gone with someone in their, like, I don't know, 50s or 60s. Peter Capaldi's probably not doing anything. What's Gerard Butler up to? I don't know. It's just very strange that that's where they went with. But, like, that's fine. Then there's a commentary on Captain Marvel and King Valkyrie talking about what they're up to. Nothing relevant. Hi, Alex. Thanks for these. I got 2 Daredevil Born Again questions. If you have any information, do you have any teases for Muse and what type of villain he will be, similar to the post you made for Cassandra Nova? And have you heard whether Daredevil Born Again will feature a one-take hallway scene? I heard many wonderful things about the stunts. Hard to explain the show overall. I would compare it to the way Marvel Animation approached 97. They respect the original material, built it up, and elevated it to a new standard, which I'm sure fans will love. I want to believe that. What I've heard about Muse is that his character will fan the flames of chaos in the show. He'll be very sinister and deranged, and will actually be an antagonist to not only Daredevil, but also Kingpin, which will be an interesting dynamic to play out. How long do you expect Wilson Fisk's reign as New York City's mayor will last in the MCU? I expect Fisk's run as mayor to last while it still is a storyline will continue well beyond Daredevil Born Again. I think it'll last until he becomes the fucking president, because that's what they seem to be setting up.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange and Clea. We've heard what I've heard about Doctor Strange's story leading into Secret Wars requires a minimum of a 3rd Doctor Strange movie for it to be explored properly, or at the very least 3 Avengers films. Anything less, I'm afraid both Steven and Clea's characters might fall short of the fans' expectations. So,
okay,
what the fuck does that mean? What I've heard about Stephen Strange's story leading into Secret Wars requires a minimum of a 3rd Doctor Strange movie for it to be explored.
When will that come out?
Honestly, tomorrow. We don't know. It doesn't take a year to make a movie. I'm just gonna say that right now, just so y'all know. It takes from the decision to make the movie to the movie being in theaters. It takes anywhere from 6 to 9 months. Principal photography to end of shooting on a movie, conservatively speaking, takes about 45 to 60 days. That's it. Why do you think there are people who could put out like 6 movies in a fucking year?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not hard. Like, you work for TV shows are different, because TV shows you film the episode, and that's God help you if it's an hour-long episode. You rarely film multiple episodes in a day or even scenes in a day. A movie, you don't even need, like, it's not like a play, like in high school or grammar school, you know, when you were like a Thanksgiving Day play where everybody had a role and shit. No, not everybody has to be there. The main cast of a movie only needs to be on the set when they are interacting with each other. That's it. Captain America Civil War, there was probably an overlap of Tony and Cap of like 15 days. And then they did whichever scenes made the most sense. The Tony scene, maybe they started with the Tony scenes because RDJ was like, I'm good for the first 3 weeks of this. They started with all Tony scenes, and then they did the Tony and Cap scenes, and then Cap was like, I'm good for the last 15 days of this, so we'll do these. It's not long to make a movie. You write the script of the movie. That could take a month and a half. The script. You go through principal photography, which is when you storyboard it out, you run through, you pass through the ideas, you go through checks and balances, you get your director on board, you make sure everyone's on the same page. 2 months, 2 to 3 months. The filming is 2 to 3 months. Post-production is a month to 2 months. Unless it's a psych. But here's the thing. Short. No, it's not, because if it's longer in post-production, the filming was less. Because there was more CGI, so they didn't need to do things. The things that make movie last long is like stunts that need to be performed. Right? Like, you could see it, dude. Like, you could see, like, makings of movies and shit like that. Like, where you're like, oh, shit, this movie doesn't take a long time. Movies don't take a long time to make. Then there's reshoots. Reshoots can happen. Like, but they could, if they started today, if they're like, we're going to have Blade out, there's no reason they wouldn't have Blade out by, like, next May. Not even, like, if they were like, we're doing Blade starts today. We, like, and I'm not even talking about filming Blade. If they're like, here's our script, here's our director, go. Fucking go. That movie comes out in May. Easily. If they need a little bit more time, June. Like, but that's it. Movies are not hard to make. Especially now that, like, everything is done full CGI. So they have, like, sound stages. And Georgia has a sound stage. And Disney's, I think, is called The Volume. The massive sound stage that Disney has. Like, I believe it's called The Volume. Like, yeah, they don't even have to fucking make the sets for the most part. Like, they make, like, 10 or 15 things that people might interact with, and then everything else is CGI background.
Got you.
The CGI doesn't take long. The problem is the check. Like, okay, so this is what we're thinking. Send to Marvel. Marvel doesn't immediately, like, Marvel doesn't have anything in house. That's their fucking problem. They own ILM. Disney owns Industrial Lights and Magic, the pinnacle of development. They bought it with Lucasfilm.
Yeah. And
they're not, like, those guys aren't, like, heading like, that should be the biggest, ILM should just be, like, the biggest fucking CGI in the universe, like, in the world. Like, they should, like, be sending out things, like, here's everything, we need you to compile it, go, fuck off. Like, we've done this, go to a small studio, you send it back, if you did, and then we take it, like, you know how you do with your videos, like, you take it, you run through, you're like, make some tweaks to it, call it a day. Everything is all over the place. So that's why it's like there's just no reason for this. Like, there's no reason. The reason they're not doing any movies this year is because they want everyone to look at Deadpool and Wolverine and be like, that movie was great, can't wait for the next movie. That's it. That's the only reason. Captain America could have been ready. They just wouldn't have released the movie they were happy with, so they're just like, fuck it, reshooting everything. Thanks for taking the time to answer. Do you know who any of the actors of Fantastic Four are portraying that haven't been revealed? Who do you think John Malkovich and Paul Walter Hauser are playing? I cannot comment on those castings at this time. Ghost Rider. How do you expect them to handle Ghost Rider? I expect them to make Ghost Rider an anti-hero who's loyal to Mephisto, but also looking for a way out. Sure. Hawkeye Season 2 is happening. I have no information of that, but I know that Kate Bishop will be teaming up with Kamala and Cassie, appearing in Avengers 5 before Hawkeye Season 2. They did just recently talk about Hawkeye Season 2. They've greenlit it.
Did
But
they?
that doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
But wouldn't it be more so with like the Kate Bishop story?
So they're casting for Hawkeye's brother, and supposedly they mentioned it in a couple of places. But they have greenlit Hawkeye season 2. They might even be starting to film it, but like that arc is not going off until after we see them, apparently. Okay, I don't care about Hulk. And okay, so that was part 1. Part 2 had a little bit more interesting shit. Kang's future in the multiverse saga. I've heard they want to focus on other multiversal villains before dealing with Kang again. Is there going to be multiple actors playing the new Kang? It's possible. I've heard nothing. Is Kang going to be the main villain of the overall multiverse saga, or did Marvel shift plans to a different villain such as Doom? I don't really think Doom will be the main villain of the saga, given the little time we have to build him up. It would be a disservice to us, the character, and frankly erased. Doom deserves better than one movie to set him up in a post-credit scene and then be the big bad for 2 movies. Plus, I've heard they're treating Doom similar to how they've handled Loki in Infinity Saga. Which means they're doing Doom right. We're going to get super villain Doom, and then we're going to get good guy Doom, and then we're going to get Doom is just a force of nature that everybody has to move around. And I'm so excited.
And then we'll get Doom as Reed Richards.
Reed Doom. Remember, Reed Richards showed up in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness with Doom tech. That was Doom's tech. That's the time platform. Marvel animated in the Spider-Verse. Any additional shows from the 90s they're looking at? There's always ideas cooking, but it all depends on whether or not Marvel approves the idea. Right now, I expect them to do is explore the 90s timeline via the X-Men show, not to oversaturate audiences and leave them wanting more, but not delivering. As for Beyond the Spider-Verse, when's it ready? It'll come out when it's ready. We should expect What If Season 3. I believe we'll get What If Season 3 very soon, and I believe there may be one more season planned, but I'm not 100% sure. That might not be because Marvel Zombies was confirmed, but, like, who knows? How many members and who exactly do you expect to be in the Midnight Suns team? I've heard Wong, Moon Knight, Ghost Rider, Blade, Werewolf by Night, and Man-Thing as the most repeated names by sources as parts of the team in the roster. Other names I've heard from most to least likely include Black Knight, Scarlet Scarab, Elsa Bloodstone, Doctor Strange, and even Agatha Harkness. But if I had to guess how many members, I'd expect this be a 6 to 9 member lineup.
Okay.
Good deal. No note. It is a movie, though, not a TV show. With the reemergence of Cloak and Dagger in the comics, any chance they'd be added to street levels? I've heard nothing of Cloak and Dagger appearing in the MCU as of yet. Are there plans to bring the Runaways into the MCU? I've heard nothing on the Runaways appearing in the MCU as of yet. Scarlet Witch and Agatha. How would you expect the character of Agatha to be handling moving forward, as we've been craving Wanda content? You know, expect her to, not to I find it hard to have a long-time role without her. Given the role, Agatha might hopefully surprise people in the show. Having Agatha be the conduit that allows us to explore a more unknown side of the MCU with witches and other form of magic is something I think fans could be excited to see. Current development on any Scarlet Witch movie. Very early in the conceptual stage, since they're trying to figure out the overall story. Which will happen sooner. Thor 5, Young Avengers, or Scarlet Witch solo movie. Young Avengers. Are Wanda and Magneto still going to appear in Deadpool and Wolverine? As you've hinted in the past. This will be the only clarification I'll make on this. No, they are not in the movie as far as I know. What I know is very early on, there were ideas about being heavily discussed in concepts. Unfortunately, most of these concepts didn't pan out, and you have to wait for the movie to see what I'm referring. Shang-Chi 2, no notes. Iron Fist, I've heard a few ideas about Shang-Chi 2, and Iron Fist was never involved. Spider-Man 4, when can we expect an official announcement regarding Holland's Spider-Man 4? This year? But that doesn't mean anything. All we're gonna get this year are fucking announcements.
Yeah, I mean, we get Agatha this year, right? I think that's it. After that, we're done.
I believe the last thing we're getting this year is Agatha. Maybe an animated, but I'm not sure. We could get Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. We don't know. We don't know when that movie's coming out.
Yeah, that movie is. There's been nothing or any information that I've found recently on that movie.
Does the multiverse elements in Spider-Man 4 go beyond the symbiote? Will we see full-on multiversal characters? No to the first question. To this second question, I really don't expect Black Cat or anyone else showing up in the upcoming film, but I've heard the potential for the next few films in the trilogy. How would you say Daredevil Born Again's potential aftermath regarding Kingpin affect the lives of vigilantes like Spider-Man? It will affect them very heavily. Which foe could our friendly neighborhood Whiter Man, Whiter Man, find a bit of challenging? On the second question, in the next movie, Peter Parker's past, but villain-wise, I know they are looking to introduce more villains who haven't been done in movies before, reutilizing the old ones. It's going to be an interesting thing I did want to clarify about an older tweet about Doc Ock and Green Goblin. He tweeted, they will be, if not the final villains Holland's Spider-Man faces when his time as Spider-Man comes to an end. I know how many people are curious as to how they will do Doc Ock and Green Goblin again when the time comes. I just like to let everyone know the whole world was watching the final fight during No Way Home, and it may or may not have inspired a couple of people in the MCU. Yeah, just some homeless guy. It's like, I'm Norman Osborn, and we're going back to formula. Like, so that's an absolute, like, dump. Everything else that on this is just kind of like meh, like nothing crazy, nothing spoilers. But that's a lot of information from a conversation of somebody who is like NDA'd with Marvel, like allowed to speak on their behalf. As a matter of fact, paid kind of to speak on their behalf. So there are things that I'm excited for now in Marvel. Okay. Real quick, I do want to take a brief moment just to get this out of the way, to do a DC news update.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, DC news update. Okay, so now we can move on to other topics.
Let's do something else.
Yeah, DC movie news update. It's nothing happens.
Nothing.
And you know, nobody fucking cares. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. Nothing happens and nobody cares.
No one else was in the room.
Pseudo unrelated, but we haven't brought it up yet.
Yeah.
And it's worth bringing up. The YouTube community and the comic book community lost somebody this week. For anyone who's unaware, comic historian passed away in a tragic accident. The details of it, I shouldn't, like, they didn't disclose, so I won't.
Right.
But I travel in circles, and one of those circles involves Rob, Benny, his wife Nat. Like, I would never call them friends because that's overestimating my value to them in life, but like they are definitely acquaintances I've spoken with before, and it is truly a loss because comic historian had a vigor for storytelling and a love for well-written characters that a decade worth of his life was poured into, and he will be sorely missed both as a creator and as a person. Like, he was a truly great individual, and it's a shame that he was taken so young.
Yeah.
With so much to give.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, he was 40 years old. It's sad, you know. I think, you know, I took some time and like was reviewing his channel and just seeing kind of like all the contributions that he had, and the biggest thing I think my takeaway from him was just passion. Right, that's it. Like, he was passionate about all the stuff that he did, and you know, even though I think the views may not have been the way that he did probably desired over the past year or so, but you know, you could tell that people still loved the type of content that he was putting out, and when they could get around to it, they really appreciated it. So it's a loss. My heart goes out to Natalie, and the community that was really close to him. That there's just nothing. Something like that just happens suddenly. Just there's nothing that you could do, right? And in terms like you don't even know how to feel. So my heart goes out to him. I think my biggest takeaway from this is, like I said, just looking at his content and how he did it, like just taking away that passion. And, he was the type of person that say what you want to say about, he could easily lean into the sort of negative aspects of why XYZ doesn't work and why movies are this. Cause he did comment on movies and castings and things like that too.
Yeah.
But he always took it with an approach of, hey, I'm just really passionate about these characters, and even though it's not the way I desire for it to be, I'm gonna give you a rant as to why I don't like certain things. But it always came from a place of like passionate love before what he did. So it's sad, for him to go. I didn't have any sort of personal connection to him, but it impacted me a little bit because I was just like, man, like, we're in the same niche, although he's way, he
Yeah.
was way up there, but just more of kind of just a reminder of, just always do what you love and do it with passion. And it sounds like he was a genuine good dude too. From I watched comic explains video
Yeah.
comics explains video.
Rob,
He
Rob, Rob
yeah,
felt that for a
he's still
while.
feeling it. Yeah, yeah,
I mean, like,
yeah. It has to be. I mean,
we
he
like
hasn't
to live in
he
a
hasn't he
world
hasn't
of,
made any he hasn't made any content this week, so you can tell that he's still just like I gotta process this.
yeah, I, and don't take what I'm about to say in any way, but it's
Yeah,
like, you know, Toys R Us, and like when you got older, right? Things
mhm,
changed in your life. You probably didn't think about Toys R Us that often, but you'd still drive by one every once in a while.
mhm.
And if you had kids, maybe you brought your kids to Toys R Us, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
look, we're gonna get you a toy." But it was kind of like you knew Toys R Us was there as an option, and then
yeah,
it's not anymore. So
mhm,
whether you went there, you still feel the loss, and that's the same feel of like comic historian Benny. Like regardless of whether a person continued to support him by watching
mhm.
his videos forever, or if you just caught a couple of videos and just life got busy,
Yeah,
um it's something else to know that comic historians channel is probably going to continue,
yeah.
but it's going to be different, and
Has to be.
you're not gonna hear Benny's take on Deadpool versus Wolverine. That's the thing that's what hit me. That's the thing. I was like, motherfucker. Like
Yeah,
hearing somebody's take on something that like is that passionate it's gonna be missed.
yeah.
Um but hug your loved ones, you know,
Yep,
um just in general,
yep.
just call your mom if you care about her. If you don't care about her, fuck her. I'm on your side. Remember, we support.
Mhm.
But like, like talk to your family, um, and your friends. Do what you can with the time you have, because sometimes completely out of the blue, the opportunity goes away. And it's just,
Right.
it's truly, truly sad.
Yeah.
So rest in peace, Benny. You know, that's the best I could say. Like,
rest in peace.
Like, thank you. And thank you. Like, thank you for everything.
Yeah. For your
I don't know.
Family.
I don't know. I can't speak for you, Goofy, but I don't know that I would have ever given a shit to try commenting on comics and videos, both my old podcasts and everything. I don't know if it wasn't for people like Benny, if that would ever been a thing that I thought I could do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you look at both him and, you know, Rob, like you look at them and you're just like, okay, yeah, you know, like may not be able to get to where they're at, but hey, if I could just get,
they couldn't get to where they're at until they did. Like anyone can do it, guys. Like you just have to bring the passion, the love, and the dedication to whatever, and you can do it. If that's what you want to do, you can do it. They wanted to do it, they did it.
Yeah.
But
what I'm saying is that like
it's inspirational.
They had to pave the way, you know, for us to be able to kind of get there in a way. Because there wasn't. I mean, actually, to be fair, there were people that was one or two people that paved the way for them, right, to be able to get to that point. But for me, that's where you take a lot of inspiration. And to be honest with you, like I'm still gonna be watching his videos, you know, to take inspiration from those, right? I'm still gonna do that. It's just now I'm gonna be with the feeling of, man, I won't be able to hear anything new that he has to come out with. So that's gonna be the unfortunate part about it.
Yeah. And I didn't want to lead off with that conversation, but like,
no,
I wasn't going to say nothing, you know, like I wasn't going to say nothing.
It was something to talk about. Yeah.
And a great segue
into a phenomenal segue
into a slight Tony rant now.
Where do you want to start?
So Goofy, you don't really know much about Star Wars, right?
And I feel like the more I don't know, the better these days.
However, last week Jay raised the Jay dropped the gauntlet, right? Jay was like, "We're going to talk about the Acolyte." So Jay, I'm not going to try to convince anybody that the Acolyte is good or bad. That is not my job. That is not my responsibility, and that is not who I am as a person. I do not like to take away joy, right? I don't.
Okay.
I don't like. I will, motherfuckers. I don't. I don't like to do that. That said, if there's something that I have a problem with, and it's true, or at least true enough to me, I tend to not care if it happens to take away joy. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like, if like I'm not going to tell people how hot dogs are made because I want to ruin hot dogs for people. But if somebody asks me how hot dogs are made, I am honor bound to explain to them, well, they take all the pieces of the pig that aren't real pieces of pig and they grind them up. And that's if it's a pig. And if it's anything else, it's the same thing. Lips and assholes. And they're delicious, and I love hot dogs. But I'm going to start this rant with 2.5 positives about the Acolyte. I truly think that the fight scenes, when they appear, are phenomenally entertaining. They do a lot. They're doing wire work fights. It's not. It's a combat that like makes sense for Jedi, and like the people and the time, and they look really cool. Even the first fight scene looks really cool. So the fight scenes look really cool. That generally speaking, it looks really cool. The Acolyte has a really cool look to it. Like it doesn't. A little claustrophobic at times. Like they really have smaller sets, but they are all practical sets. They made the sets. It's not all background of bullshit green screen. And even though they feel a little small, the show looks good.
Okay.
The second thing I will say, out of the 2.5, is that in the 3 episodes I've seen, I saw them last week, but this week everyone saw episode 3. I felt like someone involved in this process wrote this kick-ass fucking story, and a bunch of other people in the process of the Acolyte suck at telling stories.
Oh.
So there's a really good story in here. So that's the positive. Like, it's a really good story that, like, if you told me, if you pitched the Acolyte to me as a murder mystery where an evil a night sister coven, for lack of a better word, night sisters are witches in the Star Wars universe. A night sister coven attempted to create life and seeded the plan of Darth Plagueis the Wise, I would be like, oh, god damn, I'm in. Ooh. Let's fucking go.
Okay.
So that story, like, the idea is there, and and this is the half. I am not going to say this is a bad show yet, because I am going to watch the rest of the show. Because there's a chance that there's a good story coming and they're just terrible at telling it. That's the half. Like, there is a good story here. Someone wrote a good story, and it might even be a good story at the end. But right now, here's where we have a fucking problem, because now we're going to talk about the problems. The Jedi are not bad.
Okay.
They cannot be bad, by definition. They can be arrogant, idiot cops, which is what they are. Arrogant, idiot cops, but they are lawful good paladins. They are obnoxious, annoying, but what the Jedi do is enact the will of the Force. That is what it takes to be a Jedi. If you are not enacting the will of the Force, again, this is just Star Wars lore, you are bending the Force to your will, which is a bastardization of the Force. The Force being, however you want to describe it, the life force that connects all living things. Chi in some, ki, like, it is the energy that connects life in the universe. That is what the Force is.
Okay.
Pretty, like, across the board. And different religions, different cults, different sects throughout history of Star Wars have had their own approach to what that means. The Sith were a race of people who were inherently Force sensitive as an entire species, who believed the Force was a tool they could use in the same way that, like, a gun or a bow and arrow was a tool that was discovered and used in, like, warfare, etc.
Okay.
The Jedi was an order founded, and again, things change, there's a whole bunch of different lore in Star Wars, was an order of people founded to protect the will of the Force, and over time became almost like a police force for the galaxy.
So is the Force, is it still controlling the individual?
The Force does not control anything. it is just energy.
Okay.
But it has a sentience to it. And it's usually, depending on which lore you tend to believe in, either like the father, the son, and the daughter, which is the Mortis cult, which is, you don't have to know about that, but like,
okay,
there is an energy. Basically, the Force is the energy of all living things connected. So if a whole bunch of people on a planet die, the Force is that is reaching and connecting to people is like, ow, it hurts, like.
okay,
And people who are sensitive to the Force, this magic energy, like in Dragon Ball Z, it's key, you know, like the people who are sensitive to it can feel that. They're like, oh shit, that sensitivity to that is what makes you eligible to learn how to use the Force, whether it's moving things with your mind, shooting lightning from your fingertip, whatever it is, the Force exists. Your sensitivity to that is random as fuck. It is, like, everybody is connected to it, whether or not you feel it, you can feel it and like interact with it is dependent on the person. But like over time in meditation, you can learn to control or listen to the will of the Force, right? Like you can hear it and say like, you must go, there are people who need you. A planet needs you right now. Like that, again, like you can do it in a small scale, like down the street, someone is getting mugged, you know, like,
yeah.
For DC, it would be like a Green Lantern Corps. Is a good way of describing it. Like for Marvel, it would be like probably like Destiny or Eternity, like in the rough equivalents. And again, not exactly, but like, you know, fucking close enough. The more you listen and utilize the Force to do the will of the Force, the more tuned in you are to what's considered the light side of the Force. You are utilizing the Force the way the Force intends as a purpose, as a sole purpose of the Force. You are doing good. The more you either ignore the will of the Force or actively attempt to change things against the will of the Force, the more you fall to what's considered the dark side of the Force, which is the same Force, just different energy. Like, am I trying to help people? Am I trying to hurt people? Am I doing it for others? Am I doing it for myself? Like real alignment bullshit happening here. And in theory, if you can listen to the Force, you will always end up in some kind of net neutral. Right? Like you will always, because the Force is about balance of life and reality. Like Thanos snapping was imbalanced, right? This show is going off with the premise that you could be utilizing the dark side of the Force and not a bad guy. Or in this case, girl. And that is fundamentally a misunderstanding of the Force, of what the Force is. It's not magic. You are not a wizard. It is technically magic. You are technically a wizard, because that's just dumb Star Wars bullshit. It is not the same as magic and wizardry. You do not learn how to cast a spell and then choose how to use that spell casting. You learn how to do the thing because that is the thing you're allowed to learn. Sith cannot Jedi mind trick. It is not a feature of the Sith. They cannot slightly convince you to do something differently. They can forcibly convince you, Harry Potter style, to do something at great risk of pain and suffering. The show is telling a story of two children who were created using the Force that were separated by horrible circumstances. We don't fully know what they are. We have suspicions. And believed the other to be dead.
Oh,
as a result of that, one of them joined the Jedi Order and then left the Jedi Order. Because that's something you could do. You could stop being a cop. And became a mechanic. And the other one found some assholes who taught her how to murder good. All this is awesome. The premise is awesome.
Okay.
The acting is meh. I don't believe anything. They are stepping on their own dialogue. This is a real and direct quote from episode 3. I am not making anything I'm about to say up. I saw it. I paused it. I was watching it with my friend Tim. I rewinded it because I was like, did that just fucking happen? He's like, yep. I was like, okay, cool. The person who is in charge of the evil being like dark side, like they are evil, they are bad. It doesn't matter. They even make a comment like the galaxy, the universe thinks we're bad. I'm like, if everybody does, like, if everybody thinks you're bad, I got some really bad news for you. Which is cool because like the idea of them being bad doesn't mean anything. The idea of them being bad and me being told that I'm supposed to like not think they're bad, like no, they're bad. I want to like them for being bad. Like that's compelling. Villains are way more compelling than heroes. Yeah. The main character, the leader of this witch coven, goes, the Force is not a weapon, a tool or a weapon. Literally 5 seconds later, uses the Force as a weapon. And then continues to use the Force as a weapon. Like, literally, like, I'm not even, like, she's like, the Force is not a tool or a weapon for you to control. like, just, dude, 5 seconds. I was like,
I appreciate it. I appreciate the honesty.
Poor writing, shit acting. I believe they're gonna reach a point that's the key takeaway. Poor writing, like the story's there, they fucked it up. The acting is terrible. They're intentionally dumbing down every single person's stupid. It's not like the fucking the anti-woke bullshit people who are like, they make all the men look stupid. Yes, but they also make everyone is fucking stupid. Every single person is simultaneously, like, they're so stupid that they come full round to do something smart and then everybody else gets dumber and goes like, that's a bad idea. There's a guy we meet who's so fucking dumb. Like he's just very dumb. Like I'm sorry. I'm getting, because I was cool and now I'm not fucking cool. They think this person, this Jedi, killed another Jedi. They think she killed another Jedi. They're like, you killed another Jedi. So what we're gonna do is send 2 fucking nobodies to collect you. And then they're gonna collect you and put you on a prison ship. She killed a Jedi. Master Jedi, like the high Jedis. She killed him. You think she killed them. And you're like, you know what? We're going to send some guy and his student to go get her. And then they're going to put her on a ship with other criminals. And guess what fucking happens? The other criminals escape and she gets blamed for the escape. And I was like, first of all, she should have fucking escaped, even if she wasn't guilty. She should have been like, y'all are dumb. Bye. Like, everybody is so incredibly fucking stupid in this show. Every single person you meet is doing the dumbest thing I've ever seen. There's another scene where this dude, right, is in sorrow for something. He's very sad about something he did. Compelling. Interesting. He hasn't spoken in 10 years. Oh, fuck. What's this guy about? What has this Jedi done that he's been meditating for a fucking decade? the main bad guy, girl, guy, you know what I mean, bad guy, bad person, shows up and tries to kill him. He has an invisible force, haha, lol, force field around him. He's meditating. There is an invisible force field around him.
Okay.
A shield she cannot penetrate. Jesus Christ. She can't beat the force shield. She's strong in the force, but she doesn't have the like, this guy is literally atoning for something. We do not know what it is. If I gave you 1,000,000 guesses, I'm gonna give you 2. How do you think she ends up killing him?
The force?
No, that would have been a good guess. Dumber.
He kills himself.
Oh, you nailed it.
Basically. Is that what happened?
She gets a vial of poison.
And
then she convinces this guy to drink it. And he goes, "Yep," and then drinks it. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because I said the dumbest thing you can think of. Do you know why he drinks it? Because he's very sorry for whatever he did that ended up affecting her, which is true.
What? Okay.
Do you know? But okay, so wait, same. Let's remember I told you a second earlier. She shows up and tries to kill him, but there's this invisible force field around him, and she can't get through it.
Yeah.
He dropped that so he can drink the poison.
All right, tell me more.
Just let her fucking stab you, dude. Just let her fucking stab you. What are you doing? Why did this happen? What did this happen?
And this is Acolyte. The first 3 episodes. These are the things that happened in the first 3 episodes of Acolyte.
I think they're trying to set up a story where, because the main character is twins, May and Asha. I think they're trying to tell. They're trying to do one of 3 things. I think because they're not smart. Like, nobody involved in this show is smart. The acting isn't smart. The directing isn't smart. Nobody's fucking smart.
Okay.
I think what they're trying to set up, and again, would be cool if it was not like so obvious, is that either the wrong sister fucking died. We thought it was one, but it wasn't. Right? Like, we thought, like, because we thought May died, but Asha was the one who survived. If it was the reverse, if May survived and Asha was the one who died and then was, that's one option. I don't think that's it, because that's even like too dumb. I think that's too dumb. I think they're literally trying to sell us on the idea that they are one person, and that they are one person in 2 bodies, and that they are split a light side and a dark side, like one is full light side, one is full dark side, and that they are a failed attempt to create a being in the Force. That's why it's 2 people, because you couldn't force the Force to make one being, because the effort to do that besmirches the fucking Force. So I think the process was like, nope, it's 2 people. There's the one that's all the light side, there's the one that's all the dark side, and that they are actually still just one person the whole time. They're one person just in 2 bodies, and they are like constantly like switching, and they don't know it, or they're unaware of it or something. Like, it's one person in 2 places at once. That's I think that's what they're going to try to set up, and I'm like, that's dumb too. Like, that's so dumb. I hope it's not. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it's something better. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope that I look back at this and be like, man, I was so fucking wrong.
That's fair.
But again, like, they talk about the lesbian witch, but they are lesbians. I didn't bring it up because it doesn't matter. That's why I didn't bring it up. It doesn't matter that it's a lesbian witch cult.
Yeah.
On all, like, it doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter that they made somebody that wasn't Anakin. Like, Plagueis learned that ability from something. He learned the ability to do that. I get that. And it's cool that it doesn't matter who it's from. As a matter of fact, if these random bitches were the Night Sisters, I'd have been like, fuck yeah, let's go. I don't know why they're not the Night Sisters. They should be the Night Sisters, because Night Sisters fucking rule. But the Night Sisters are viciously bad people. They're decidedly not good people. Like, you know how, like, Scientology is like, you sign a contract to work for us for 10,000 years after you die?
Yeah.
Where it's like, most people will be like, that can't be real. What if it is, though? You know what I mean? Like, that's the Night Sisters. You die? Oh, man, you ain't done yet. Like, we're gonna bring you back. They are fucking bad.
Yeah.
People complain about the singing. That's dumb too. I thought that chanting was fine. Was it stupid? Yeah, but like, it was no more stupid than anything else in Star Wars. I was like, yeah, I'm willing to forgive so much in Star Wars because it's all fucking dumb. But like, tell the story right. Like,
yeah.
like, like, let him sing. I don't care. It was a stupid song. The power of one. No, I don't even remember what it was. It was like the power of one, the power of two, the power of many, or something. I don't even remember. All I remember is I was like, yeah, and yeah, I'm sure there are people complaining about the singing, cause like, but that's so lazy. That's so fucking lazy. Like, why are we complaining about the obvious bad shit? Why don't we complain about the shit that like if you like the singer, you don't. Who cares? They're a coven of evil witches. Let them fucking sing. Like, they should. Yeah. I'd be mad if they didn't. So that's my rant. My rant on the Acolyte is very simple. Please, Star Wars, please, just stop making shit. You suck at it. Everyone sucks at it. You all suck at it. Oh boy. I liked Andor because it was like a weird part of Star Wars I've never seen, which was just straight up fucking drama. And I was like, oh, all right. Yeah. But I had no expectations because I was like, I don't fucking care. I don't care what fucking happens to the random fucking nerds before they get killed on the deaths, like in the stealing the plans for the death. I don't fucking care about them. So I watched it. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like Star Wars, but didn't feel bad.
Okay.
First 2 seasons of Mandalorian, fucking awesome. Book of Boba Fett, terrible. Book of Boba Fett was worse than this, like hands down. Like, this is dumb, but at least the story is okay. Book of Boba Fett was truly awful. I don't hate people who like it. I don't generally hate people who like anything. And here's the reason why. I don't hate people who like the Acolyte because the Acolyte's not making them money. Like, they're not making, no one's fucking subscribing to Disney Plus to watch this. Like, if you're already subbed to Disney Plus, you're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
You can't avoid it. You might watch it. I'm not saying you're gonna. You might watch it, but no one's like, you know what? It's if it's not for me, also fine. The Acolyte might not be for me. Totally cool with it.
Yeah.
I don't know who it's for, and I know who it's definitely not for. Paying audiences. Like, I'm a huge fan of using the TV shows to tell unique and experimental stories. Just be good. Just tell good stories. Tell them well. Tell the story well. I told you. I think there's a good story here. I just don't think they're capable of telling it well.
That's fair. I
think the actors are stale. I think, actually, it's not true. I think the dude, Soul, the guy from Squid Games, I think he's chewing the fucking scenery, man. So anyway, watch The Acolyte, Goofy. You have Disney Plus. You got kids.
I'm not watching that.
Watch it.
I'm gonna watch. He's very good this weekend.
I like him. There's also a fat Jedi. I don't know, man. I just like, and not a fat, not like a species of alien that's large, which I'd be like, hey, maybe that's all the fucking species, man. I don't know. Like, it's just a dude, just a fat dude.
Oh, okay.
Just like me. Just me. It's just fat Tony. Just like, I trained my mind. I am disciplined.
That's fair.
But Hostess cakes, god damn it. I don't know. It's just everything about it. I'm just like, who the fuck? Why? Who wrote this? Like, why did this happen? Who hurt you? That's it. That's my rant. Again, like, I don't think the lesbian shit. Who cares? Like, cool, great, whatever. Don't try to convince me they're not bad guys though. Like, they're clearly the bad guys. They did not even like they did something wrong. Like, they're very obviously evil. Like, the universe says we're evil. Yeah. Do something about it. Do evil shit. Like, go do murders. That's
All
it.
right.
That's all I gotta say.
I don't have anything else personally.
I just needed to get my rant out about that.
That was a good rant. We had a good rant session. You guys can now rant in the comments.
Yeah. After you like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Let's talk wrestling. Is there anything to talk about wrestling?
I know nothing about wrestling.
Goofy, I don't believe you.
I know nothing about the past 5 to 6 years of wrestling, other than Vince McMahon is evil. But I feel like I already knew that.
Sorry, just one last point. I don't think it's 16% bad. I think there's a lot of people that are hate bombing this shit.
Yeah, big time.
I do.
Especially when you see that big discrepancy between 84 and 16%. It's pretty.
I think there's a lot, but here's the thing. I do think there's a lot of people hate bombing this. The problem is, I don't think there's anybody love bombing it.
Yeah.
Like yes, there is probably more people that are like, yo, fuck this show for like whatever garbage reason they have. Like, I don't like it, but
yeah,
whatever. I feel like there's just not enough people that are like, you know what? I'm going to write a positive story. Like, I don't think anybody like is that dedicated. Like 50%, I'd be like, that's probably fair. Even 40%, I'd be like, that's pretty accurate to mine. 16%, I'm like, there's no fucking way.
Right.
There's no way. And like, again, I could give a shit less about critical reviews of anything. Yeah. I don't care what the critics say. But see, like, this isn't a review. This was horrible. Do not watch. Like, what the fuck does that? Who cares? Like, that's a dumb. Like, give a review. Like, if you're gonna shit on something, like, it's the same as the reverse, right? If you're gonna review something, I don't want you to be like, it was great. Fuck, what does that mean? Who the fuck are you? Give me something. Bet you could find my Google review. Why? Is it the 5-star one? Is it the only good one? Also, gotta give a shout out to Manny Jacinto, because Manny Jacinto is awesome. He was in a show called The Good Place. Jason Mendoza. Show was great. 97% critic review, 89% fan review. Phenomenal fucking show. So anytime I see him, I'm happy about it, and I can't wait, because Manny Jacinto is awesome. Other than that, I mean, this is what's funny. His lowest rated thing is 75 for Cora Bora, because they're I don't believe they're including this anywhere.
Yeah.
Also, I don't think anybody should be able to rate entire series until they're done. I think you should be able to rate episodes. That's just my opinion. Like, but you seem like you're dead.
Yeah.
So we're gonna call it here. After, again, commenting in the chat why I'm wrong about everything, commenting why Goofy is so sexy, and, doing whatever you want. Thanks to both people watching us on Kick. Oh, as always, we appreciate you more than anybody else, except Jay. No, I'm kidding. It's just Jay watching us on both. That's even funnier.
Right. No, that will 100% be funnier.
That is funnier. That is way funnier. Be safe out there. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, guys.